remember. Sacrament. Perform your rites. I must dig.
this break. What do you feel about like both teams and what they are showing us in this game right now? Okay.
I think both teams had an idea, but I think like we said at the start of like as soon as we saw the draft, it like you said, hey, I like the risky draft. Maybe you can do something fun with it. But ultimately, what ended up happening is the draft that compiled itself to an extent that had like very straightforward team fight front to back synergy. It did exactly that. They played what they needed to do. The burden of execution was on Valhalla, and we didn't find it. So I'd like to see them adjust their strategy. They had some good moments. There were some picks that they were able to execute. They didn't always give up things for free. They were trying to trade on sides of the map, but they were usually on the back foot. And I think a lot of that had to do with not quite the most coherent draft strategy. I would like to see them revisit that, maybe give a little bit more agency in the mid lane. I don't think Anivia was quite it. Pick something that perhaps is more of an early game focus on your marksman and then play it out from there instead of, trying to match scaling for scaling. I want to see them shake things up and look for a different strategy in game two.
Different strategy, different play styles. That's what we all looking for the next game. And the question is, will Zooboomafoo go for the 3-0 special? The 3-0 that we saw them doing on the previous best of 5, or it's gonna be a little bit different on this one? Are we gonna see 5 games? Are we gonna see a reverse sweep? That's all in theory. That we're gonna be discussing after this break. Whenever you go, just go grab your snacks, get some drink, and stay hydrated and wait for us for the next game. See you.
Blinding lights, lost in your eyes, feeling the pressure. You and I, spending the night, chasing forever. For you, oh no, I'd be your one and only. Don't let me go, don't leave me lonely. Say you'll stay through the pain, say you won't go running. Let me in through your veins, get off on my loving. Get away from me. 'Cause you are on my mind, on my mind. 'Cause you are on my mind, on my mind. 'Cause you are on my mind, on my mind. 'Cause you are on my mind, on my mind. You've been there from the start, inside my corner. When it gets cold and dark, you make it warmer. 'Cause you are on my mind, all of my days and every single night, single night. There ain't no way to get you off my mind, off my mind. Without you, I just can't breathe. You'll never get away from me. Blinding lights, lost in your eyes, feeling the pressure. You and I, spending the night, chasing forever. For you, oh no, I'd be your one and only. Don't let me go, don't leave me lonely. Say you'll stay through the pain, say you won't go running. Let me in through your veins, get off on my loving.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Emerald semifinals here at Merc Academy between Zooboomafoo Rises and Valhalla Berserkers. Zooboomafoo Rises took that first game in fairly convincing fashion. What did you say, Sekio?
It was just pretty smooth. How did they actually manage to play this game? They just like snowballed every lead that they had. The Jinx just like kept getting gold. Mid laner, same thing, and it was just like a chain of mistakes being done by Valhalla Berserkers, and currently you can see the lane swaps, not the lane swaps, I'm sorry. The side swaps between both teams. Valhalla are going to be playing on the red side and the blue side, and Zooboomafoo are going to be the red. And like speaking of, we're not going to see a lot of champions that we saw on the previous best of 5. That you should keep that in your mind.
Yeah, and like
Oh,
we mentioned
side.
before, this is a fearless draft. So the ban priorities have shifted. You see the Tristana ban does come out. That is someone that multiple members on the side of Zooboomafoo play. Both Zerobi, their mid laner, and Maniac, their bottom laner, both have a Trist that can be very powerful. And in the top side, we're picking a much more standard pick. We see the Scion come out, but Trundle I like as a response to Scion. What do you think, Sekio?
I really like it since it's just like you have the subjugate and you're gonna make sign thin as paper. Also, you're having Nico, which is like, hmm, it can be a flex pick, but I probably would like to see Nico on support role, since Nico is one of those champions that you can count on as a support. She's gonna be a minion. She's gonna play all nasty tricks that Nico got. And I believe you need to exactly feel the pressure, get something in return, which is gonna be Viego, and you should open AD carry at this point.
And Viego is someone that I wonder if Valhalla Berserkers. I did notice that they had a sub. Their listed jungler was not playing. Whom is actually listed as their support, and they had one of their substitutes playing in as their support, and Whom was playing jungle. But I know that Lego Alien does play Viego and does play quite a bit of different fighter jungles. So I wonder if they do, after the first game is now done, if they have been able to get their starting jungler online, which would be, quite a big turnaround for them. And they do pick the Ari in the mid lane, a pretty fine blind pick, but Mel is one of the big counters, Sekio. I think Ari is such a free lane for Mel.
That's why you don't get your mid lane pick at the third pick on your blue team, because basically it works if you're in red team, because you're gonna pick your champion and then you're gonna be able to ban two other champions and have the ability to pick another one. So it's either you're gonna ban for your third pick or your fourth pick. But at this point, you made the opposite. You're having Ari. Questionable. But like Ari versus Mill, it's doable. It's not that hard to beat. You're just gonna be skipping lane as Ari, just using your Oblivion Orb to remove any minion wave.
Just using the Oblivion Orb to remove the minion wave. We do see some bot lane focused bans come out, as we see some supports being banned out for the side of Zooboomafoo, and some ADCs catching some strays there from Valhalla. But I think that the issue with Ari is that when you pick the Ari, you really want to combo with your jungler to like make some things happen in that early game. You usually see like Ari with Vi as the traditional combo, and that's very tough to do into the Mel, because if you don't get that rebuttal out of the Mel and you go to full combo, you throw the charm, you throw the Oblivion Orb, and they both just get reflected in your face, you're going to eat a lot of damage for it.
And at this point, I believe like that Valhalla are gonna be playing into a reset composition, which is pretty clear. You're playing the Ari, you need to reset. For team fights, you're playing with the Viego, which is also a reset champion. So you're gonna use all your power into one target, and after that, you know that the team fight is gonna be ruined in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, they, like you said, they do get the resets, but if they can get those resets off, it does take some doing to set up, and you really have to adjust the way you're approaching fights. You can't just walk into them the way you standard would.
True.
But it can be very potent. Once it starts going, it's really hard to stop that chain reaction. All the extra ults from the Ari, all the extra resets for the Viego. But speaking of resets, that could be a very powerful one there on the red side. Into the top lane is a Darius pick. Something I personally did not see coming.
Neither did I, but like I believe that they felt that they can just like, yeah, we have a lot of chances into playing Darius. Maybe I would say that they were afraid of Darius, but like the enemy team already got signed. But at this point, they're just gonna go with the Lucian Nami special. So Valhalla are just aiming to finish this game in the mid game. They don't want to go to 30 minutes games League of Legends, 40 minutes game League of Legends. They just want to make it fast and make it quick.
Yeah, it's going to be a Ziggs is the final response. And neither of these teams setting up for like the big turbo late game scaling. But like you said, Valhalla have given themselves a lot of tools to kind of take over through this mid game and see if they can end it as quick as possible. You started off with me last game. I'm going to start it off to you. We're looking at these two drafts. We have a pretty good idea of where all these champs are going. What's your read on the situation?
Zooboomafoo, if they won this game with this draft, they can just like win it all. That's a non-winnable draft. Like you're playing with 3 mages. You don't have control over objective. I'm not saying like on the early game, but not control. I'm sorry. You can't burst objectives. You can just like take them as fast as possible. You can take Baron. You have a pretty slow Baron, but if you can win this game, I can assure you it's gonna be a 3-0 game.
Maybe not the message you wanted to hear if you're on the side of Valhalla Berserkers, but I don't necessarily disagree with you. We're going to wait and get confirmation as to the roles of each of these, but I don't imagine there's a lot of flex power outside of maybe for some reason you want to put the Ziggs in the mid lane and the Mel in the bottom lane. But yeah, it is your whole bottom side of the map is really dependent on this magic damage, right? No matter how you flex the picks, it's going to be a mage in mid lane and 2 mages in the bot lane.
Yeah, and also you're gonna be having a pretty tanky Scion, which is he's just gonna go for the full magic resist items. Whatever magic resist item is gonna face is just gonna get. Like Kainak boom. What else? Like the AB Sunfire boom. Anything. He's just gonna get full AP for the resistance. Maybe he can get a Jack show, overlords, maybe a lot of options, but like he's just gonna spam magic resist, and all your mages are gonna be like, yeah, why he's not dying? Cause
Yeah.
he's Scion.
And then you might expect, well, then the Darius and the Trundle should be able to clean him up. But in a 5v5 team fight, those are 2 melees. They have to walk forward. That makes them kind of easy pickings. You know, they're forced to walk forward. They don't necessarily have the biggest engage tools. You can maybe get a good Pillar of Ice off, perhaps, you know, a good well-timed crippling strike or rather an apprehend. But it's gonna be tough for red team to like make things happen if the Nico Pop Blossom is like their entire team composition right now. Like if Nico hits a huge Pop Blossom, none of the rest of the stuff matters. But you know, Lucian's weakness is that he's low range. Well, the people that are going to really threaten him are 2 melees. Ari has all these dashes. Viego has all these resets, and so it's a very, very tough position.
Mm-hmm. They are in a pretty tough position. Also, like on the other side, you can see that they're having Ziggs, which is gonna be a pretty good book material for them. Something that they can count on. You mean Ziggs? I can say Mel. So basically, for Zooboomafoo, they need to let Valhalla certain objective, book them, burst them, and give a chance to older players to play and be able to have like this slight edge into team fights.
Yeah, slight edge in the team fights and just overall across the map. I think they kind of have winning positions. Yes, the Scion is not going to be able to lane very easily into the Darius, but that's not going to matter. Your Scion, you are weak-sided so easily. The jungle matchup is a little bit tough to call. I think the Trundle can just stat check anyone, but it's Viego, you're not going to be playing into it. And so overall across the map, it seems like a much better draft. Valhalla have this time found themselves something that seems a little bit more synergistic, a little bit more straightforward to play. Whereas, again, we talked about the burden of execution. Whose job is it to actually make things happen and make the game change the way it's played? Because otherwise, you know, one team feels like it a little wins by default a little bit. That burden of execution is on Zooboomafoo. We do see they do lock in exactly the positions we expect. It doesn't really make sense to flex that Mel out of the mid lane because it is so good into the Ari. But the Pop Blossom on that red side, plus maybe some good Mel rebuttals. If the Mel can rebuttal the tidal wave, the Mel can rebuttal some of the relentless pursuit, or the culling in particular. If they can, you know, if they can get these big ultimates reflected, then it is, you know, playable. But it's a lot of your execution comes down to do 2 of our players, you know, hit the button exactly when they need to, and that's just a really tough overall win condition to play around. Is, oh, does our Nico hit a big ultimate? Does our Mel play her W cooldown exactly perfectly?
You need just to play you need to play slow. You need to play by book. You need to give your enemy team the advantage or like that chance to certain objective, so you can play the game. But on the other side, like Valhalla, they are just trying to win this game in mid game. I believe like they still got the Viego scaling, they got the Ari, and also they have the Lucian. I believe like they fall off a little bit, like not much, but like they still fall off. They're not the same as most of the other AD carries. But guess what? Like this game, we have only one ADC. It's gonna be Lucian. So yeah, you better watch out from this guy.
That being said, we are going to send it to a very short break. Grab your last minute drinks, your quick bathroom breaks, your snacks if you need them. Because when we come back, I imagine this one's going to be filled with early game action. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be back in a bit.
Yep.
Exciting because game one was all Zooboomafoo all day, but this time Val have cooked up, I think, a much nicer draft for them overall. Like we talked about, the burden of execution on Zooboomafoo to kind of impress us here, not get drowned out by the early power of some of these lanes. And you can see they're all stacked up at that top jungle.
Yeah, you can see a lot of movement coming out from those guys. Are just like, yeah, we're gonna hover around, play, do something here, something there, but I don't think that's gonna be crucial in the in whatever is happening in this game itself. So yeah, it's whatever. Currently, I can see that we're it's like pretty interesting watching Ziggs Nico versus Lucian Nami early on levels, because level 1 I believe that Ziggs Nico should be able to push the wave and harass both champions, and after that it's gonna be like in between both of them. If Lucian played it right, I believe he can handle the pressure and be able to regain the boot royal.
Yeah, there is something interesting to note. You can see that Whom is now playing the top side, and it is Yoshi who has stepped from the top side into that jungle role, so they have swapped positions. And then on the flip side, everything appears to be in order, but we do see that Darius did use the ghost during that early exchange. It did force out Yoshi's flash, and usually you're going to be willing to take that trade. Darius not going to be found too wanting for his Ghost in the top side, but he did go Ghost Flash, which means he does not have the teleport. And not having that teleport does give Valhalla an opportunity to overload some of these side lanes, you know, open up some interesting split pushes, or get to objectives in ways that, you know, Zooboomafoo is just not going to be able to.
And like, it's easier for them to get any objective to be able to control anything. At the same time, I can see that Zooboomafoo are actually having the topside Bryo, but when it comes to bot lane, they choose to play it a bit safe. Even though that level 1 Lucian Nami, it's pretty good if they opened like Eon Lucian, Eon Nami, it's gonna be pretty massive, but right now you can see the Trundle moving top and they're looking for the Cyan, and believe me, that's not the guy you should be going for. And right now we can all purely see that Trundle is pretty low when it comes to tempo, and Viego is just scaling.
Yeah, Trundle behind on the tempo, trying to find something to do topside, but it ends up being first game who takes a lot of damage in that exchange.
One more auto?
But perhaps one more auto does come through, but it did not get the execute. Just a little bit too much time for that health to regen. And Zerobi actually ends up using the flash to dodge out on that Orb of Deception. Lots of damage coming through there from both mid laners. And you talked about tempo. It's Yoshi using his tempo here in the bot lane. Gonna try and pick up this Scuttle Crab. And then I assume we're going to just go right back into farming, right?
Round 2, fights on top side, and Trundle didn't finish his full clear till now.
Trundle did not finish his full clear, but it might be worth it if he can pick up the kill going in, finally getting a bunch of damage onto Whom. But this is a tanky lad. It's not enough damage. And now the minions are on to Burrow. Even with the red buff, he's not feeling great about this fight 2-on-1. He's still going to turn tail and run, and you wasted a lot of tempo for 2 failed gank attempts in the top lane.
You failed once, like shame on you. Second time, shame on you. It's not gonna be shame on me anytime, because this Trundle is not gonna be having an happy early game right now. Minute 5 in this game. He's just finishing the first clear, and unlucky he witnessed the smoke clear.
Darius hits the apprehend, is getting good damage down, getting the stacks up on Whom, has all 5 up, and now this guy's getting ready to go. Has all of that Conquer stacked up and a lot of damage down. Whom gonna go ahead and die and just start to clean up the wave, get those Soul Furnace stacks going. And that's what you want to see. That's kind of the point of the Darius into the Scion here, is that he is going to be able to just kind of duel anytime he wants in the lane and pick it up. That's kind of why I find it odd that Burrow took time to pay any attention here to that opposing top laner, because for the most part, the Darius would probably have been fine on his own, and you put yourself so far behind in terms of that tempo, and you have a bot lane that's probably going to desperately need your help in a few minutes once that Lucian starts to pick up those first items.
Also, you can see that Viego's currently just going to finish the second clear for his jungle, and right now you can see Botlane is having a pretty rough time trading, and this DL is gonna lose half of his HP just from a small trade. But Lucian playing versus 2 AP champion is a bit rough currently. I believe that they're gonna be recalling for tempo, get some items. Maybe you can see Lost Chapter in the Ziggs, which is gonna be pretty crucial when it comes to trading, when it comes to mana casting and using in the lane. But he's gonna play tier. Please don't play tier.
He's top again. It's the Trundle. One more time, coming with the Pillar of Ice, just getting some damage on who entirely absorbs it with the shield. Burrow, you gotta farm, man, because Yoshi's gonna hit level 6, and it's gonna be problematic.
It's personal, like that's not League of Legends. That's personal. And yeah, thank you for showing up on top side. The first fake is gonna be free as it is right now. I believe it's gonna be hard to try to contest it, but Ziggs is not gonna make it that easy.
Yeah, Lucian has to pop the barrier. Here comes the Ahri, fires out the charm, does not connect, but it forces out the flash from that Ziggs. Ziggs, no summoners to speak of, use the teleport simply to get back to lane. The game continues on, 1 kill to 0, but now Valhalla has a drag to their name, something they did not get all of last game. We're in game 2, this is their first drag of the series.
Yeah, the difference is gonna be pretty huge, but currently you can see the charm, but the return damage coming from Mill is gonna make her survive. But guess what? Again, Trundle, this guy is insane, and bot lane is not gonna be having a pretty easy matchup.
Yeah, now Yoshi is ganking this bot lane. They just know Trundle is up there on the top side. Get some good damage onto Maniac Trojan Boy, and I think he's fine with that because while he falls low himself, he's thinking about resetting anyways. But dang, it is hard for that Lucian to get in there. The range of the double mage bot lane doing a lot to mitigate the early power of this Lucian. Opted for a serrated Dirk first item. It tells me he's trying to go Collector. An interesting first item indeed. And can they pick up the kill? They do! That's the first kill for Valhalla, and they are able to take out that Ziggs.
First kill on the bot side, Yuchi is gonna be having his ultimate. The huge wave is gonna be whiffed on the Ziggs. Losing a lot of his top. Lost chapter is gonna be picked up. And on the other side of the map, yeah, it's not gonna be Darius playing 2v1 versus Sign. This time, you can see Trundle picking up the Void Grub's first correct play from him all along this game.
Yeah, the trade between the Scion and the Darius, suddenly a lot tougher to deal with when the Trundle hasn't come and ganked you 3 times to set you down to half health. Trundle opting instead to, like you rightly called out, very smartly pick up those Void Grubs. And in the mid lane, the Mel is having a rougher time into Ahri than you would expect, considering the fairly dominant matchup between their abilities. Zooboomafoo just having a tough time being able to, you know, deflect or reflect rather those charms and orbs of deception and use the ult there, which was kind of a mind-boggling decision to me at least.
And also, like, I don't get it, like, you had a perfect recall, you had your cannon wave, and you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna waste it, I'm gonna stay, I'm gonna overextend, and currently, you can see Aries just gonna have a little bit of a chit-chat with you, and she's gonna cancel your recall for another time, and currently, you have to use your TP. Oh no, he canceled his TP by his own hands.
Yeah, doesn't... Trying to start the back, just cannot get it off. Snipper does opt to use the ultimate, but not necessarily the longest cooldown. Won't miss it too much. And here's the thing. I think it should be a pretty strong lane for the Mel. I think it should be Mel-sided, but Snipper is playing it particularly well, keeping it even in terms of CS and gold, and getting some good damage trades in. And you can look at those mid laners and see they have opted for the exact same items. Both will teleport into the mid lane. Get more trading in this top side. The Darius coming out on the upper hand this time, but that means Yoshi free to go into the bot side. Here comes the tidal wave into the first reset. We talked about the reset for Lucian. Now we're in response, getting a gank at the top side. Whom wastes the charge, does not find value, just bonks straight into the wall, and Darius gonna walk away. So it ends up being across the map a 1-for-1. But considering where the gold went, the Darius is one target to have, sure, but Yoshi found his first kill, and he's gonna be the big carry for Valhalla moving forward.
So like, Super Friend, I have a question for you. If you're having a Darius in the top side and you're having Ziggs, Nico, and bot, what's gonna be your call into pathing?
I would traditionally expect the jungler to try and play towards this bot side, so plays like these can't happen, but they're slow to do it. That's the feat of warfare going over to Valhalla Berserkers, who are still on the front foot, number 1-2, trying to find a pick onto DL, does not find the damage, is falling low because of that minion wave. They're gonna have to get out of there. The Mel considering coming in, Zooboomafoo looking to make a pick, does spot Yoshi, but Yoshi's full health. That's not the member of Valhalla you want to be fighting. Valhalla ultimately going to just sneak their way right back out. And this is the problem. Like I said, you would expect the jungler to be ganking towards that bottom side to try and get the Ziggs Nico some relief. from the pressure that is the Lucian, especially when Yoshi has ganked multiple times in the mid lane. Snipper is trying to get a kill, but Mel knocks them low. Does the all come out? The charm is what will end that fight. Snipper picks up another kill, and it's Valhalla up 4-2.
I don't understand a lot of stuff, but what I do really like is Trondin moving towards mid lane. The Shroom is gonna be here, but Viego is gonna scare the heck out of you, and yeah, it's gonna be 4-2 when it comes to the scoreboard. And this small pumper, this small Ziggs, the guy with the TNT, is not gonna be able to play the game with anything. Collector being completed on the other side, and he's just like struggling trying to catch CS. I believe like dying with Ziggs is your mistake, but playing on Sion when you have Darius on top lane, that's legal.
Yeah, I mean, and you can see even with just the, with the Trundle's pressure, the Darius is up 96-42, at least in terms of the farm. 1.4k total gold is the lead in that top side. But the ultimate consideration is that it's Sion. Have you ever seen a Sion player in the world who cares about falling behind? Is he not like the most weak side champ to ever weak side?
Have you ever watched The Boss? That's what I really want to ask. Like, Trundle, Zooboomafoo guys, have you ever watched Sion play this composition? You're having 3 mages, 2 of them are your carries. You need to have a small look into them, just like a sneak peek. It's gonna matter somehow, like hopefully.
Here's the thing. Here's the copium angle, right? Sion gets a lot of health, and they can just all build Leandries. Right? Max health damage, yeah. As the number 1-2 is gonna go in. DL takes a lot of damage, but does escape with his life using the shape splitter to get that extra movement speed to go away. But Snipper is on the pursuit. Do they have the ultimate up? They do have the Spirit Rush, but gotta think better about wasting it right now. Burrows stepping forward. They get the CC onto Burrow. That does reveal that is the real Trundle.
Still, it's gonna be a little bit messy. The dive is here, but the ult will stop them from diving.
A great Spirit Rush to get out of the Pop Blossom. They pick up 2. Yoshi will die for the trouble, but a perfectly executed tower dive, all things considered. And they find another one on the back end, a double kill for Snipper. And all of a sudden it is Valhalla Berserkers that are all over this one.
Valhalla got 4 kills, got everything they should ever dream of for, and like I feel that this team fight was given to them like 3,000 years ago. So like yeah, you're gonna win this team fight, and at this point of this game, I believe that they're just starting to build up the return, the comeback. Like they lost the first game, they are trying to prove a message that they are not those teams that get 3-0'd twice from the same team. Hopefully that what happens. And like for me, I really wish that we can go for game 5, watching 2 teams having those floppy fights, having fun, and playing customs. Yeah, it's fun.
They are getting here. They're finally having fun. Like you said, in the first game of the series, we were worried we might have a repeat, but Valhalla is coming into this a little hot. So it does, beg the question of rest versus rust, right? Zooboomafoo, as the first seed, got a bye, did not play last week. Valhalla are coming in, having a hot hand, being a 3-0 victory last week. And maybe a little sluggish, a little tired coming in, but are waking up here in the second game.
Yeah, and currently Choo Choo Train is coming toward you in mid lane. And let's see, the flash will land the knockup, but he's going for the 2v1, and Tron is like, yeah, that's not my fight, that's not my place. He's not gonna be taking the mid turret, and he's not gonna be helping you in the mid fight. And right now Ziggs is having his Nico form. Oh, Nico's up. Yeah, you guess what I mean.
we were so busy watching the masterful Herald driving that we didn't even see how Zerobi got low, but it was another kill for Snipper. And I feel like it's egg on my face, Sekio, because I was talking about how, you know, oh, the Mel lane into the Ahri is just so good for the Mel. Look at all those projectiles you can reflect. A well-timed W completely messes up Ahri's combo, and Snipper said, yeah, right. See if I care.
Yeah, right, like, yeah, that's not gonna happen on my watch. That's not on my watch. But, like, I mean, he's not the worst player at this game so far. We have 0-4 AD carry, and we have a Trundle that's playing only on top side. And right now, you can see the famous Darius smoking.
Yeah, Darius, we talked about resets. There's the first one. Gets a huge dunk with the ult. Is pretty much all of Zooboomafoo's damage at the moment. Is going to flash in. Pop Blossom will find two, but the Tidal Wave buys enough time. Yoshi kills first game, first life, and now he is the Darius. You got to run from your own carry. Drops the Ice Pillar. Burrow gets away, but they are limping back away, and it'll be a third dragon, the sole point over to Valhalla Berserkers.
That's that champion that you focused. That's the Darius that you can 10 times in top side. That's your carry, and he's going back to the ashes. Drake, number 3 is out uncontested. You're trying to go for a team fight, but guess what? Nico is pretty low in HP, and currently she's just gonna run away, and Zooboomafoo are having troubles in this game.
Yeah, Burrow opted to, you know, like we've called out a few times, it's kind of been our sticking point, kind of been our through line through this game, is that Burrow opted to gank that top quite a lot, and Yoshi just kept his head down and kept farming. That's paid dividends. He's now up 30 gold, a couple of kills. And there's a skirmish here in the river, but can't imagine it amounting to much. There's nothing to fight over here left, but we're committing ultimates. All of a sudden, this got really real. Snipper is going in, using the Spirit Rush, finds one. Numbs 1-2, using the calling. Snipper might pay for it with his life, but gets the extra charge of the Spirit Rush to get away. Yoshi finally arrives, and that will dissuade Zooboomafoo from finding anything else. But wait,
available.
over what?
Zig's ultimate is available. Oh no. Never mind. Yeah, they were fighting over the scuttler. Like, you know, scuttlers are pretty important. They give you the river vision, plus it's gonna give you an advantage whenever you walk through the scuttler. You get the extra movement speed, so you know that scuttlers are pretty important, even though that they are the most insane creatures. Like, they don't even hurt you, but like, you need to kill them to get vision and to be able to move faster. So that was the reason both teams were fighting. Like, that's a reasonable reason, right?
It might be a reasonable reason if they're fighting over the scuttler before the drag came out, but the dragon on that side of the map is dead. That side of the map doesn't matter for the next 3 minutes, and it's Num 1-2 just finds another kill onto Zerobi, having a day to forget here in game 2. Had a wonderful match in game 1, but now is all of a sudden on the flip side of such a beating, such a shellacking. It is 0-5-0 on that Mel mid lane, and we're probably seeing why she fell out of favor pretty quickly with the top level of the league.
It's pretty obvious that Mel is not having his best day today, like 0-5. I believe when it comes to this game, like, even though that you're down when it comes to kills, 5 or even more, like 7 kills, blah blah blah, yeah, it's like almost 7 kills, 8 kills, and it's like, it doesn't matter, you're only down by 1.5k gold, which is pretty important. But right now you can see the Archons being brought to midlife. You don't have the potion bot, you have vision on you, and it's easier for Valhalla to contest it. Oh, the charm landed.
Charm landed, and a calling comes out. It buys a lot of time, but you can see that, oh my goodness, Burrow stole it! He stole it! Now all of a sudden, this is the angle in. Zooboomafoo needed a huge throw. Immediately, DL finds 2, and Darius is trying to get Whom on the flip side. Has the support of his Mel from Zerobi, trying to get another kill. Snipper finds 1, but this is the danger of the Otacon. The North American Otacon throw strikes once again. You get so low from losing those resistances, you slip up for just a moment, and all of a sudden, this game is dead. Even no more. It is Zooboomafoo in the lead.
The turn is here, and you can see Zooboomafoo is doing pretty good job. The flash from Mill, the last auto attack won't be landing here, but it's gonna be a 1-for-1, totally worth for the area. But Zooboomafoo, they're having a lot of shutdowns, a lot of good stuff that's gonna be going through their pocket. And right now, like on the previous team fight, they were down 2k gold, and currently they are up by 3k gold.
Yeah, 3k gold. While it's not necessarily the biggest lead at 20 minutes, it is pretty substantial considering they were not even remotely close to winning this game until this point, right? They lost out on the feats, they lost out on the early dragons. They only really had a couple of grubs to their name, but now all of a sudden, they are well back into it. Their top laner sitting pretty with a 3.2k gold lead over his, peer. And man, that's just a game-changing Otacon. You have to be really dedicated. Make sure your team is ready to take an objective like that. And while they were throwing those ultimates, that when that charm landed, they threw out the culling. You saw that the Otacon just shot Nums 1-2 with the big orbs and did a hell of a lot of damage, picking up all of that damage, and all of a sudden their ADC was unable to fight, and they just completely lost control of that section of the map.
Yeah, and also the Drake is gonna be spawning right now. I don't think that Zooboomafoo should be starting the Drake at this point. Choo-choo train is troubling. He got the smite. It's gonna be easier for Valhalla to start the Drake. The poke is coming. They are close to getting the war to start, but at this point they're just gonna be hugging both sides. The other team is gonna be taking mid Brio, and right now the Drake is gonna be the prize.
Yeah, the Drake is the prize. The fight is coming up. Snipper's gonna go forward, misses the charm. The culling comes out. Tidal Wave as well. Tidal Wave completely shuts down the Pot Blossom, or so I thought. Snipper dashed into that Pot Blossom.
He got the Drake!
And so even though it looked like it was good positioning, a good ultimate from Valhalla, the Tidal Wave stopping any aggression from DL, a misposition from Snipper uses the dash forward into the Pot Blossom, dies, and opens up the opportunity for Burrow to come in, steal the Drake. And my issue, if you are the side of Valhalla Berserkers, is we didn't even need to fight that Drake at all. We're already up 3-0 on the Dragons. If I'm a Valhalla Berserkers member, let's look for that mid lane turret. It's just sitting there. It's staring at me. It's free gold. Let's go maybe get that top side tier 2, and we can find some value across the map instead of in the Dragon Pit.
Yeah, and it's gonna be easier for you to get more gold to try to get back into the game, but at this point, 3-4 globs, the choo-choo train, but the pillar is not gonna be enough.
Yeah, the choo-choo train does fall low, and that power, that Darius, all of a sudden deleting him from a very high amount of health. Can he get the reset onto Nums 1-2? And no, it is Yoshi that picks up a double kill, getting both first game life and Maniac Trojan Boy. And Burrow will just barely escape with his life. Gonna have to go ahead and back. Now the Baron is up. They could technically start it, but with their ADC having to respond to the bot lane, I don't think that is in the cards for Valhalla Berserkers.
I like what Zooboomafoo are doing right now, even though that they lost so hard in the early game. They're trying their best to get back into the game, and right now you can see the culling is gonna be shifted back using a pretty standard W from Mel. And also, right now you can see the takedowns, you can see the early what's it called? We just spoke about it. That gives him the extra XP, that gives him the adaptive force. That objective that was on both sides. Super.
Sorry,
remember?
Say again. I zoned out for
like
a second.
yeah. The objective on both sides, like the Otacon, like I don't know.
Otacon.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I lost the word in my mind, but like you got the Otacon, you got the advantage when it comes to the when it comes to the levels, the damage, and currently, like even though that you have 5k gold advantage, the value, the worth is a lot more than this. And currently, like even though that your mid laner is 2-5 versus a 6 3-5 Ari. They are almost the same. The difference in CS is huge. The shutdown that came from Choice, like the third goal from tier 2, just made her just like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Your score, we're equal, and I'm even better right now.
Yeah, and you can actually, I think something I want to call out as we're looking here is you talked about the XP advantage. Look at the Nico. That is a support who is level 15, unless the UI is lying to me because of them being disguised as Darius or something. I believe that Nico.
Yeah,
it was lying to me. That was like, there's no way that's true,
Nico
right?
stuff.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
Nico
production, for pulling up the XP and levels, because I was like, I feel like I'm on fraud watch. Okay, I was not so insane. The Nico is still where they should be in support town when it comes to XP and levels. But yeah, you see a small advantage. The Darius being up a level, the Ziggs is up 2 levels. They're able to pick up a kill there onto Snipper, and now all of a sudden it is Zooboomafoo once again with their kind of space on the map. It was looking all Valhalla, and then just one big throw, and it has completely flipped the narrative for this game.
And also Zooboomafoo are having a pretty huge damage into turrets. He have the Ziggs, he have Trundle. Besides like having Mel, like the auto attacks they really matters. Also add up, they're having 3 Void Grubs, so they just like mill turrets when it comes to the game itself. After Valhalla had all of this advantage in the early 20 minutes, they got only 3 turrets. Smell is just like trying to learn the champion. I can feel him, like I had the same issue early on today. Like he's just like not comfort on the champion. He's just like trying, testing waters, testing damage, and this mid lane pressure is gonna be hard.
Yeah, I have gotten confirmation from production that it was the UI is working as intended, but because when you copy someone as Nico, you copy everything about their HUD, you become level 15 even though you're not level 15. So that's what happened there. I thought I was insane because I was like, there's no way this Nico is so high level. We're maybe gonna find a fight, but a great bomb keeps Yoshi out, but Yoshi just ults in onto Zerobi, and now a huge charm. That's the 2 damage dealers down, and now they're just left with the Ziggs. Trundle is off in La La Land, gonna go ahead and go for the second dragon, but Valhalla Esports, I think they're fine giving over the dragon and instead picking up a Baron. Maybe gonna look for a tier 2 on the top side as well.
The third Drake is gonna be here for Zooboomafoo, which means they're gonna be having 15% adaptive force plus the adaptive force that they got early on, but right now they're trying to steal the Baron. It's gonna be hard, but they are still in the picture trying to force a team fight, which is still not what Zooboomafoo or like Valhalla are looking for. They're just gonna try to reset for Temple, buy some items, play in 2 lanes, and then try to just like get a small inhibitor.
Zooboomafoo, had that lead. They took it after that fight, but now the gold has slowly started to even out. We can see the Baron being a major contributor to that 1.5k, a nice gold injection for the team. Plus, you're going to have all of this tempo now. And with the 2 dragons for Zooboomafoo, yes, they have some nice increases to the stats. It's not 3. Not 3.
Yeah, it's 3. Like the first dragon got like the icon glitch.
That's Otacon. That's Otacon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dumb me.
They've only picked up 2 dragons. It is only soul point for Valhalla right now, which means they still have some wiggle room to play with. Snipper. Oh, that's what you get for stepping forward with no vision. But the Mel misses the root, and now all of a sudden Snipper's gonna get away with the Spirit Rush. A teleport coming in. Who is it from? Or should I say from whom is it from? Here he comes with the ultimate. Burrow gonna take quite a bit of damage. DL will just get deleted by the culling, and a slight overstep from Zooboomafoo. Thought they had the pick onto Snipper, but the cavalry rallies on that single missed skill shot. That's all it really came down to.
On the other side, you can see Darius is just like pushing to the inhibitors. You can see the mid tier 2 is gonna be falling down. The Burn Nashor, they still have more than 1 minute into their name, which is gonna help them a lot into getting some inner turrets. I believe like the inhibitor turrets, it's gonna be hard for them to take after losing those HP, losing no more minions. And Darius is just fighting his demons on the sideline. Like, two frogs are just fighting. What are you doing, guys? Like, the Drake is gonna be spawning in 2:30. That's
Drake is
almost
spawning
150 seconds. Like, it's a lot of time. Why are you here?
Why are they here indeed? Well, they're going to get some good value with Scion on the top side, just utilizing his big, beefy body to split push. And they've got the Baron to try and shove out some of these waves. We've completely re-equalized the gold. And now, all of a sudden, both teams going to be fighting on equal footing. Yes, it is 6 towers for Zooboomafoo, but all of those kills, that extra Drake worth of stats, the upgraded boots for the side of Valhalla. And so now we've got to wonder, where is the next, where is the next step? Where is the next strike? Which team is going to pull the trigger?
Oh, at this point of the game, I feel that Zooboomafoo get a lot of damage that they consume from Atakan, from the 2 Drakes. Thank you for correcting me on this matter. Like, I felt like I didn't know what was this icon for, and also at the same time I was like, 6 Drakes in 30 minutes, that's a bit off, but like, yeah, whatever.
And,
But
it is doable. I've seen teams do it.
Yeah, it happened. It happened before. But like at this game, let's just like have a sneak peek into the items. I can see that Death Cap is gonna be brought here by Ziggs, and oh no, that's a pretty bad move. You're removing the Lost Chapter and you're getting a pink word. I won't do it. You won't. You shouldn't do it.
And it is, speaking of bad moves, Mel shows in this top side saying, I'm going to root this Scion and prevent them from split pushing. But it's a huge tidal wave of finds 3, the culling to follow up, and they just don't have any place to go here in the mid lane. Snipper stepping forward, and they're just absolutely deleting Zooboomafoo. The apes on the run. And a huge tidal wave there from X-Irony, completely bailing out a bit of an overstep from their AD carry.
A bit of an overstep, and currently they're having a pretty decent push from mid and bot at this point. It's easier for them to go for the Drake. The spawn is here. 20 seconds till we see Darius. Can we see the unspoken, I don't know, contest, the 50-50 god, the guy who just like stole a Drake, stole an Atakan, or actually he stole 2 Drakes and an Atakan, so...
Yeah, I think genuinely every objective has been a steal, but Valhalla knows that too. They're not happy about him. They spot him out. They're gonna try and hunt him down before he can make too much impact. Meanwhile, Whom is trying to run it back with Zerobi. Wants to find another play there against that Mel. A good pillar causes Skipper to take a ton of damage, and that completely neutralizes one of the more mobile damage threats. The Ahri completely zoned out of this fight, and so I think that means Valhalla probably is going to have to seed the dragon. And Pop Blossom comes out, but a flash over the wall negates its value. Here comes the calling, but it's just all into Darius, who's not taking all that much damage. The root doesn't do much, and the reflected tidal wave does even more. They go on to the clone, but what's the matter? Snipper teleports back in, finds the charm, but immediately goes down in the back end. Burrow is trying to go down, but Yoshi just can't find him. He gets rooted down as Darius, and he will fall as well. And now, finally, Zooboomafoo, having been back and forth, kiting out this fight, are able to execute, find a couple of kills, and the 3rd dragon will be there. It'll be soul point for both teams.
The fight is going back and forth, but at this point, as you mentioned, the soul point is gonna be here, secured by Zooboomafoo. The Baron is up. You still have 30 seconds. You should go for it. They can't just like take it. What are you doing, Trundle? Guys, 30 seconds. That's not League of Legends that I know. I'm out.
Trundle
I'm desperate.
is doing infinite mental damage to Sekio. Trundle will top the damage charts just because Sekio took an extra 50,000 mental damage.
I can't take it anymore. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna skip the river fights that got no sense to do. Like, you're fighting over Scuttler, you're fighting over Sign, but when you have 30 freaking seconds of death timers, you just go for the Baron. You can try to end.
They opt to play
Surprise!
a little safe, and that extends the game even further, which in a sense still does benefit Zooboomafoo, because like you talked about falling off a little bit in that late game. They're starting to get
I
to that
am falling
point.
off of the cliff right now. I am falling off the cliff. They are not.
It is level 18 already for Snipper. No more levels to find. Yoshi having used the ultimate defensively. The tidal wave not doing much. And a pick by DL on the Nums 1-2. Valhalla are on the back foot. And they find 3
End
kills.
game?
Nothing to be traded back.
No, don't go for
Zooboomafoo
Baron.
criminally getting a couple of picks there. Bad positioning being the name of the game.
Why are we going for Baron after we killed 3 members and we have 45 seconds plus with the mid lane that got over tier 2 turrets?
Well, they do have the Baron now. They're up 5k, almost or nearly. They can do it. They're gonna try and now make this their push. The death timers are ticking down though, so a defense will be mounted, but they might find another death timer here. Snipper able to get good damage onto Burrow, flashes away, finds the Foxfire, but it's not gonna be enough. Maniac shows up, and that's his first kill of the game, mind you. The guy has 200, nearly 300 farm, a death cap, Ludens with 3k damage dealt, and yet that's the first time he's put a kill on the board.
They're actually trying to merge through the inhibitor turrets. You can see the clone is gonna be helping to tank a little bit of this damage. Mills pushing the side lane, and they are just applying the full one, having a lot of vision in the top side, so they are applying a full one into bot. Pretty understandable, and at this point you can see the Sign is trying to match the mill. The wave is gonna be coming here anytime sooner. The enhanced cannon minion is gonna be easier, and right now you can see the pop back for 1-2. Team Zooboomafoo are just trying to put the final nail in the coffin. But inhibitor is gonna be your target, and then you can see them marching through the base after this team fight.
The pop on the find them all. 5-man pop blossom by DL, but it is Nums 1-2 who picks up the first kill. The damage finally coming through, and it is a trade 2 for 2. Maybe Zooboomafoo might have overstepped. Yes, they got the pop blossom, but can they get kills? They find one more onto Snipper, and I think that might be it. They find 1 tower. They're looking for 2. The Darius doing plenty of damage. Yoshi kills onto Zerobi. This is chaotic. Will the defense succeed? Finds the root onto Darius, but Darius going forward, getting plenty of damage down, and that's all she wrote. The Baron up minion's gonna rip through the Nexus. A 5-man pop blossom to end it all.
It's all started with a 5-man Pop Blossom, and it finished with Ziggs and Darius getting the last auto attack for the Nexus, and currently 2-0 for Zooboomafoo. And the other team, they are just a master class of throwing the game. They had the early advantage, they lost it. They got a Baron, they lost the advantage. They had 3 Drakes. They kept donating shutdowns, and the Trundle that missed up all the early 20 to 25 minutes of the game just won it. So congrats to them. We still have game number 3, I believe.
Yeah, we
It's
do. So we look at the damage numbers. I mean, look how much damage Snipper did. But I think you're right the way you characterized this game. It's kind of a okay. Also, I want to point out that Ziggs did not get a kill until what, minute 35 or so, and did 47,000 damage, which is that's just funny to me. I mean, that's just good comedy. But yeah, this was kind of characterized by the throws, right? I mean, Val, this is as good of a game as we could have expected to see them win throughout the series. They had a huge early lead there. You can see at 18 minutes, they're nearly 2,000 ahead. And then that huge throw at Otacon between the 22nd and 23rd minute. And then they climbed it all back, and then they lost it again. That is an LPL gold graph. Where's my man Yanni Harakidis? Where's Mazel? This is an LPL gold graph if ever I've seen one.
I can totally agree. I can say less. LPL gold graph, and I don't really want to speak about the gameplay. I just want to speak about
we need some time to recover. We're gonna go ahead and get Sekio some water. We're gonna give him like some quick therapy sessions so that he can get ready to go into game 3. In the meantime, I need everyone else to just hold their horses. We will be right back with game 3 as soon as Sekio has recovered his entire mental state.
Head down the highway side, cold wind, but it feels right. With you, I'm heavy breathing. Feels like I'm lucid dreaming. I'm not usually the type to rush into the night. This time I can't be speeding. I'm taking it slow, but I just want more. I'm taking it slow, just go with the flow. I'm taking it slow, but I just want more. I'm taking it slow, just go with the flow. I'm taking it slow, my knees on the floor. I'm begging for more. It's you I adore. You took me to see Versailles in the middle of July. I'm falling to the deep end, giving into my feelings, afraid to go on this ride. I'm scared to crash inside. This time I might be speeding. I'm taking it slow, but I just want more. I'm taking it slow, just go with the flow. I'm taking it slow, but I just want more. I'm taking it slow, just go with the flow. I'm taking it slow, my knees on the floor. I'm begging for more. You've been there from the start, inside my corner, yeah. When it gets cold and dark, you make it warmer. 'Cause you are on my mind, all of my days and every single night, single night. There ain't no way to get you off my mind, off my mind. Without you, I just can't breathe. You never get away 'cause you are on my mind, all of my days and every single night, single night. There ain't no way to get you off my mind, off my mind. Without you, I just can't breathe. You never get away from me. 'Cause you are on my mind, on my mind. 'Cause you are on my mind, on my mind. 'Cause you are on my mind, on my mind. 'Cause you are on my mind, on my mind. You've been there from the start, inside my corner. When it gets cold and dark, you make it warmer. 'Cause you are on my mind, all of my days and every single night, single night. There ain't no way to get you off my mind, off my mind. Without you, I just can't breathe. You'll never get away from me.
Blinding lights, lost in your eyes, feeling the pressure. You and I, spending the night, chasing forever. For you, oh no, I'd be your one and only. Don't let me go, don't leave me lonely. Say you'll stay through the pain, say you won't go running. Let me in through your veins, get off on my loving.
everybody? We are back. We're getting into game 3 here. And the last one was a doozy. Sekio has taken some time. He's thought about, he's done some self-reflection, and he's decided that he hates last game, and we're not going to talk about it. Instead, we are going to talk about game 3. We're going to talk about this draft, and we see here Zooboomafoo has opted, Valhalla, being the losers of last game, getting side selection, going to opt for red side, didn't like the insanity that was blue side, and now we're starting to see the targeted bans can get even more targeted. That Volibear getting banned out, Syndra finding a ban as well, the Kayn, all picks that I believe the Valhalla Berserkers main jungler, Lego Alien, plays. I mean, obviously besides the Syndra, right? The Syndra's a mid lane ban, but the Kayn and the Volibear both fit that vein. So I am once again asking the meme of Bernie Sanders with the mittens. I am once again asking, is Lego Alien, the starting jungler for Valhalla Berserkers, finally back? And they were so close. I know I said I wasn't going to mention last game, but they were so close last game. And if it wasn't for some catastrophic throws, I think they could have won it. And now they've crawled into a very difficult hole to crawl back out of.
They're in a pretty tight spot at this point, and I can see the shake hands when it comes to both Voids, Rixai and Belvith. But at this point, I believe that Rixai is going to be the top laner, and Belvith just Belvith, jungle. I think they should open either mid or AD carry at this point of the game. If you have a comfort pick when it comes to mid lane, if it's Azir, Huawei is I don't really like it to be a blind pick, but it's an option. You can use it. It's a safe pick, but I would prefer Azir over Huawei.
Azir does have the difficulty in execution. Remember, this is only an Emerald Elo league, and so that does mean they can find some difficulty in executing the full complete chant pool. But Hui does at least offer a significant amount of flexibility. I think if you're going to blind pick a mage, he does offer quite a bit. He can be a long range poke mage. He can be, a space controlling team fight mage. And the Vex is the answer on the other side. Now that, my friend, is an interesting choice.
Also, Vex is gonna be one of those champions that got a huge range, and also it's pretty good when it comes to wave clearing and team fights. She needs to have her angles so she can fear everybody. She can just try to one-shot one of those guys. You have Rel on the top of the cake. I feel like that's the icing on the top of the cake. He needs just an extra layer of damage dealing. Maybe if you have Zaya open, if you have Kai'Sa open, if you have Kai'Sa, it's gonna be the ultimate Void team, I suppose, and it's gonna be pretty good composition to play with. Janna is gonna be decent here. I would prefer Poppy, but Janna still does the job done.
Janna does the job. She can shut down the engage, and you mentioned that Kai'Sa. Valhalla is going to ban it out, but the pick I would have been looking for that I think does so well into the rel and is such a meta relevant pick at the moment is the Alistar. I'm surprised that didn't come out.
Janna makes a little bit of sense. You wanna stop Rexai from dashing in, you wanna stop Vix from dashing in well also. So it's a small version of Poppy. Poppy is a lot better. In my perspective, I don't think that Janna is viable this season, this split. It's decent, but it's not the best when it comes to picking. And speaking of Alistair, it's good when it comes to the laning phase. But if you're speaking to the overall game itself, you need someone to make Huawei survive. Huawei is an immobile champion that got nothing to do with just diving in. She needs to step back. I believe they might need to play with Zaya. Zaya is just, you have to remove Zaya. Because if they got Zaya, they have Janna, Huawei, this game is gonna be hard.
Now we'll see what ADC Valhalla Berserkers opt into. They are hovering the Corki it is a very low range pick. It opens you up to some heavy engages. Instead, they've hovered the Draven. I'm trying not to get baited, but they gotta lock in something soon. And it is the Draven they lock in. And that, my friend, I feel like has to be a risky venture. We're blinding the Draven. We see they have a Rel. So we're going to want to fight into a support deck that usually kind of likes fighting.
Draven Janna, that's from Simpsons World. That's not from Frontera. That's not from a place that we know. Nope. Nope. I'm not buying it. But on the other side, like, I'm still looking for AD carries. Maybe Tristana, she's banned, so Caitlyn is gonna be the only option that's left on the more aggressive champions. If I had Caitlyn Janna, it would have made more sense to me. Just saying.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree, though. I do think, in recent years, it feels like Draven used to be the premier lane bully. Like, I'm just going to do 16 more billion damage. You're going to have to watch Morbius in theaters after I kill you on gray screen 6,000 times. And then all of a sudden, here comes this Caitlyn champ with 500,000 range, hitting you like Chris Kyle from across the universe. And Draven, I don't think likes playing into Caitlyn. I think it's one of the very few lanes where it's just not a fun lane. And so we've saved our counter pick for top side, and we plopped them on the Ornn, which, while it will probably do fine into the Renekton, I feel like we could have picked the Ornn pretty blind. And that the Renekton does suddenly signal to me that the Rek'Sai is going into the jungle.
Uh-huh.
We've broken Sekio,
yeah, I'm back. I'm like, okay. I'm gonna be honest. Whenever you see Rek'Sai at this point of League of Legends, I have played Rek'Sai at some point. Like, I reached master with it. I know that Rek'Sai in jungle is decent. You need to be an OTP Rek'Sai to be able to play it. If you don't know how to press the tunnels, how to move around the map, how to take camps early on, it's gonna be hard for you to play this champion. And also, Rek'Sai is one of those champions that got a lot of tricks that only high elo players in jungle knows how to execute it. I'm not sure if it's the perfect call for you. If you can go with it, so just like, so be it. But if it was a last minute call, I don't like it.
Yeah, maybe it is something that they know how to execute in particular, but like you said, you do have to be usually a pretty skilled jungle to make the Rek'Sai jungle work. I myself am a proponent of the LTA South or LTA Sul, which is going back to being the CB LOL next year. Yay, CB LOL! And in that we did see a single split 3 Rek'Sai jungle, and it absolutely dominated. I believe it was Red Doom played it into Pain Gaming. He played it into a Poppy, and he was like 9-1, going super crazy on the champ. So it offers some insane team fight potential. If you can get these early picks, right, getting a lot of damage onto one target, and that sets up these numerically advantaged plays. But you gotta be really smart with target selection here, because there's a couple of people that you'll go in on top of, and if you don't kill the Hui before he gets the fear out, or you don't kill the Janna before she gets the ult out, or you don't kill the Draven before he pushes you away with his axes, all of a sudden it gets a lot harder to go back in once you've gotten shoved out.
A lot of questions been asked for the jungler, the top laner, who's got the better synergy, who's gonna be able to get the 2v2s. And speaking of the 2v2s, I really wanna have like a little bit of focus when it comes to top side. Ornn versus Renekton. Like, Ornn fits your composition. It's like gonna be a bit tough to play early game versus Renekton. And if Renekton got 1 or 2 kills, yeah, this lane is over. I know that you need it for the Ornn upgraded items. Yeah, you need it on Draven, you need it on Hui, Belveth. Whenever she got the stacks, she got the resets. She's gonna be just as crazy as you might been asking for her, but still, you're saving last pick for Orn, and you're blind picking Jana after the gut
Yeah.
fill.
That's where I'm at, right? Is I understand that Ornn fits your composition. It is pretty dang strong. It can do a lot for your team. That's
But
true.
the laning phase.
But you can do that with a blind Ornn. If you're like the laning phase into Renekton, probably going to be pretty tough, but Ornn is one of those champions that'll probably weather it assuming all things are equal, right? If both top laners play at the same level of skill, Ornn will come out okay from that top lane. He won't get turbo dominated. You see, you could have just blinded him at this rate, and he would still do all those things. He still scales for the late game. He's a pretty good weak side champ. He's great for team fights. He's got the ult over the top. And you could have saved counterpick for something more impactful like your support. I am completely on board with that, Sekio.
I love it. And also, at this point, you have to be playing on your bot side. Like, even though you messed up on the previous... Oh, actually, no, that wasn't him who messed up. Like, the one who messed up was Trundle, who's just like, perma-ganging Darius. And somehow they ended up winning the game. I have seen it all. I have seen everything in Merck's Academy, League of Legends, by this point. And like when you check on both teams, when you try to go in depth detailed of everything, like Team Valhalla, they are pretty dependent on Draven getting in a cash out that's gonna help him to get an extra step in bot side, and they're trying to snowball from bot. Like, probably that's their call. And they have a lot of setups, like the Belveth knockup, you have the tornado from Jana, the slow, and everything in between, plus Draven axes. It's gonna be pretty good when it comes to 3v3s, but it won't be easy until you have level 6, so you can have the Jana's ultimate, so you can cancel any engage.
Yeah, it's very well put. I think being able to cancel that engage on a snap is going to be very important for Valhalla, because short of the Belveth with 4 separate dashes, one for each cardinal direction, they're a relatively immobile comp. There is some speed boosting ability from the way the Janna is pretty naturally fast and has the ghosting, but they don't necessarily have ways to get themselves out of bad positions. If a good engage comes over the top from Zooboomafoo, they're going to need to force disengages. They're going to need to push Zooboomafoo back, and that can be easier said than done.
Game number 3, Zooboomafoo versus Valhalla. It's gonna be do or die. You're missing one more game to get your foot into the grand finals. That's when it comes to Zooboomafoo, the monkeys. But Valhalla, those guys, they come way too far. They finished at the 2nd spot in the league. They lost 2-0 from Zooboomafoo, then 3-0, and at this point, you're not sure what's gonna be happening next. Like, is it gonna be like the 3-0 for the second time? They're gonna have 0 wins versus Zooboomafoo, or the luck is gonna be shifting toward the other side? Well, no.
Yeah, and before we discover if the Valhalla Berserkers can keep the top bracket run alive, we are going to take a short break. And once we get into game 3, like you said, it will be do or die. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back. We are back on the Rift. It is game 3 and backs against the wall for the Valhalla Berserkers. But I'm going to tell you a bit of an origin about the term Berserker here. It means bear shirt, and they called them because those guys killed bears and wore their skin into battle. And that's what Valhalla is going to have to play like. They're going to have to play like someone crazy off their mind that's going to kill a bear and ride into battle because they have no more lifelines. It is the final game if they don't pick up a win.
They need to pick up one more win. The first one maybe of the semifinals. It might end up into them starting the reverse sweep. The story might just start at this game, or Zooboomafoo can keep doing what they're doing best. They enter early game and they win at last. That's how it works. And at this point, slice and dice from Renekton. It's gonna take 80% of the HP from Snipper. I can see a little bit of a changes when it comes to the roster. Yoshi played last game in jungle, currently is going to be at top side, and we're having Lego Alien in jungle. A lot of changes been caught here.
Okay, it's what I suspected. I did say that during draft. I was wondering, because of the bans that we saw get used in the jungle, all of a sudden these Kane bans, the Volibear ban especially, I thought that maybe Lego Alien was finally back for his team. And I think they've been sorely missing him. I think, as far as I'm aware, I don't have the biggest expertise on these players, but he's one of the, instrumental players. Really enables their kind of zany playstyle with some of his carry jungle picks. And it does mean that Whom is out for the moment. Irony, they're going with the hot hand because he did play pretty dang well, all things considered, on that Nami. Had some pretty massive tidal waves that set up those big early game leads. Because, listen, here's the thing. They did throw, sure, but you can't throw without being in charge in the first place.
Exactly. They had their point, but this time in top side you can see the own fist pumping this Renekton, and the crocodile gonna take his blade and make it into a belt.
Yeah, it's a huge early play for Yoshi. We wondered, how might this laning phase go? Ornn, maybe he's a little abusable because he is a big squishy gummy bear of a tank, but he has some bellows breath to dish right back out, picks up that first blood, trades out the flashes, and there gets the teleport from first game life, and is just continuing to kind of bully the guy here on this Ornn. Clearly pretty familiar with the matchup. Ornn, like we said, can be abusable, but certainly isn't abusable right now, playing very well in this early game.
And at this point, I believe that he's gonna take his second 1v1 in top side. Check the minimap, you can see that Renekton is pretty low in HP. He's slicing, he's dicing, he's surviving, even though he got full fury. But this Ornn, with no recall, no buy, no nothing, is just gonna own this crocodile in top side.
Yeah, the crocodile went to back, and all he could come back with was a meagerly potion. Nothing to do when all you've got is refillable pots per stats. And here comes an early gank. A great E from the Draven. The knockup does a lot of work. Lego Alien forced out of the fight, but it's another solo bolo in the top side for Yoshi in the meantime. And doesn't even trade back the kill, gets executed for his troubles. It is 2-0 in terms of the feat of warfare. But that just means that Yoshi is completely subverting expectations. We were a little concerned about this last pick, Ornn, but maybe we shouldn't have doubted.
Yoshi is just cooking a crocodile soup, and it is delicious for the Valhalla team at this point. I believe that you don't need any support whatsoever towards top side, and at this point Lego needs to be more careful, needs to play more in bot side. And yeah, if he can freeze this wave, this Renekton is gonna be pretty messed up. Yup, he's going for the freeze, and you have nothing to do. No flash, no nothing.
Yeah, and we can see that there's already a slight CS discrepancy because of the 2 kills. After the first kill, first game life just teleported back to lane. Psh, ain't no thing, I didn't hear no bell. But after the second kill, had to walk back there like a peasant with only his regular old boots. And Yoshi just more than happy to take trades. He's not run and conquer. He's got Grasp of the Undying. He's going to be even harder to deal with. And now you see first game life backing up, having to respect the presence of a level 6 Ornn already. Less than 6 minutes into the game, the Ornn Horn is online.
Yeah, Ornn is having a pretty good game at this point. He's just like laughing. His matchup is easy, he knows how to play it, but in bot side the story is a lot different. I can see the full control that Caitlyn have. You can see them actually freezing the wave, having 10 CS lead. You have an advantage with an Ornn that's not gonna be crucial, but what's gonna be crucial, the gang in mid lane. You can see the Rek'Sai might be looking for a tunnel. But like, what caught my eye that Rek'Sai got only 1 tunnel at this point of the game.
Yeah, not that many tunnels on the map, but does have good vision throughout the map. You seeing some very deep wards into that jungle, and that sets up some screening vision to make this gank in the top side possible. But while Burrow's waiting to gank an Ornn, they've just started up drag on the opposite end of the map. Renekton going in, pops the Dominus, getting good damage down onto Yoshi, but Yoshi knows what his job is, and that's to waste as much time as possible. Flash, and he doesn't care! A solo bullet for the 3rd time! He's got the feat of warfare solo! This Yoshi guy is bullying first game life. Can he get out? He cannot. The flash knockup expended, but my goodness, a disastrous start if you are Zooboomafoo. You're giving up 3 solo bolo, one of which is into the double, one of which is into a 2v1, and what do you get across the map for it? Just a free dragon and a solo bolo in the mid lane to boot.
It's gonna be 1-for-1 in the mid lane. You're having a pretty rough time in the top side. 3 kills in the hands of Yuchi, and currently he's the unkillable demon of the top side. You're gonna be having this fat Ornn who's just gonna be hanging around, and I believe this Renekton is just like out of the game. Remember, like before we start the game, we spoke about this matchup. Whenever you die once or twice, this matchup is over. And I can see Renekton, look at the trades he already lost off of his HP, and at this point I believe that the Void Grubs are gonna be spawning in 5 seconds. This Bel'Veth is just gonna be having a lot of fun time. You still have the Ornn Horn, it got saved, the axes are just flying around, and look at Valhalla's game shifting here.
Valhalla had a strong early game last game. We're gonna have to see if they can keep it up. As the Ornn Horn comes through, dodged down by the Rek'Sai, but doesn't last long. Lego picks up the kill, and Snipper gonna go down to the grubs of all things. Unfortunate, Snipper took a lot of damage in that initial exchange and does die to the grubs. But that does mean they're able to pick up a kill both on Burrow and the first game life. Once again, only the Vex remains to contest these Void Grubs. And Lego Alien gonna have none of it. Picks up 2 grubs and has now got the knockup. Chooses to go in, goes forward, has 2 dashes. But Vex going to move to the safety of their teammate. Lego gonna try and get that 3rd grub. Does get all 3. And they might have a fight to continue here. Just continuing to go. But Yoshi's crocking low. And crocking indeed as he falls to the Dominus. And an ultimate connects. And some kills take him back here for Zooboomafoo to even out that gold. Finds another ultimate. Gets a good flee. The Rel's coming in. Gets the stun. Knock up from the Burrow from Burrow, and that's a kill to even out the kill score. Maybe a little greedy from Valhalla going for that 3rd grub. You only need 2 to get the progress for the feat.
You started pretty good by taking 2 Void Grubs, by playing the team fight perfectly. Snipper dodged everything. Like, I'm not speaking about the auto attacks from the Void Grubs, but I'm speaking about everything that mattered. But after that, you're just making a pretty tough choice in the lane. But the Magnet Storm is gonna be here in place.
A great Great Q to save his own ADC, but it's not enough as Num 1-2 goes a little too aggressive, and that causes him to get picked off. The Caitlyn gets one there. The Rel with her second kill of the game. And because the tornado had to be used to stop that initial crash down, there was nothing to save Num's 1-2 when he went back in. He could have backed away, and he ran back forward to try and save his Janna.
And you're currently losing on your stacks on Draven. Like here, there is no cash out, there is no extra gold, no early first item, and at this point, like when you feel that Valhalla is starting to own the place, is starting to show their true skin, what they're made of, Zooboomafoo are just like, yeah man, that's our arena. We're not losing an inch anymore. 2k gold advantage in 11 minutes, which is gigantic. When you see 1k gold only in the hands of Vex, you know that the damage is gonna be crucial. Also, she got the Ludin's Companion, which means that she's gonna hurt.
Going to hurt indeed. That's quite a lot of burst damage. You talked about needing to use that burst to pick off some kills.
Did you see that?
And yeah, I did see the headshot came through, quite a bit of damage on its own right. And, you know, I want to point this out to you. I want to see if you agree with it, Sekio.
Okay.
We watched them blind pick the Janna on 3, and then they blind picked the Draven on 4, and they just gave up counter pick in both positions. Or actually maybe the Rel came out on blue 3 and they counterpicked the Rel.
They started with Rel, and then they countered with Janna.
But you counter with Janna, who while can interrupt some of those dives, is just not tanky enough to survive that kind of sustained fight. If someone ever gets on top of the Janna, they're just toast. And then we blind picked a Draven, and when we do something like blind pick a Draven, we leave ourselves real vulnerable. Now we are going to get a dive in the top side, perhaps. The Ornhorn does come through, but nothing left to find. The Dominus comes out in response. Yoshi just going to have to back away. And meanwhile, in the bot lane, Zerobi doing whatever he wants, picking up a double kill. What did I say? Vulnerable to the dive indeed.
And that's what we actually discussed early on before we start this game, that you should have went with Poppy. It makes more sense, it's tanky, she can just like roll them out, you have the W, you have the ultimate, you have the shield, the ease, everything is gonna be a lot better. It's just like Janna but on steroids, so we'll take it any time of the day.
Yeah,
but Janna,
I wonder if it's just a champ pool issue where maybe X-Irony just doesn't play the Poppy, doesn't know how to run it in the support, but it's such a good pick. We've seen how strong it is at Worlds. The flash comes out from First Game's Life. Can he get away? No. First Game's Life will give his life once again. 1, 5, and 3 is the Renekton, and that's got to really smart. It's got to hurt quite a bit, because Renekton's an early game champ. That guy falls off a turbo cliff. You talked about falling off a cliff after the last game. Renekton is gonna fall into a chasm. He's gonna go into the Marianas Trench, like 20 minutes.
That feels like, you know, the Yasuo enemy team and Yasuo on your team. That's Renekton, that you're having a small alligator. Oh, what's it called? Like, I really want to remember, but let's see after what happens in bot lane.
Another dive. The ultimate coming out, trying to get some healing. Stops the Rel from getting in at all, but a great burrow there from Burrow. Once again, a well-executed dive. No one even gets low. They pick up both kills. They'll pick up the tower as well. And things are looking up Zooboomafoo as the Apes are trying to get a 3-0. They want us to go to bed tonight.
They want to finish this series as fast as possible. You can see the jungler, you can see everybody, they're just falling like dominoes. Mid out, ADC out, support out, and the jungle first start in the bot lane. It's just like, it's rocking the world. They're making a ton of mistakes from Team Valhalla, and at this point, yeah, there is no turning back. When you're playing with Draven, Janna, 0-6?
Yeah,
That's not
not necessarily what you
yeah.
want to see. And the thing is, I'm still questioning, like, yes, okay, the Janna does individually have some good reasons to play it into the Rel, right? It has some good counter dive options, right? They have a very dive heavy team. But if our objective was to be a counter dive champion, the Braum was available. Overpowered pick. Dear God. Even though it's
Braum
lost a
with
little bit of
Belvith?
favor,
Like,
even though it's
Braum
lost
with-
a little bit of favor, we can still do the Renata Glask, perhaps. Think about how good that is into a dive composition.
I mean, actually, Renata makes sense when you're playing with Raven, because basically Renata needs to play into a winning matchup. Renata doesn't like to be the 50-50, the guy that's not having the full control over the bot side. So yeah, I would have totally taken Renata with Raven, take Renata with whatever the champion that you feel it's comfort. Probably before this time it was Kalista, but at this point Snipper is getting sniped. You can see him making the 1v1 match, and
goodness!
the push is gonna make it
Snipper
all.
able to clutch out a kill there against Zerobi, who had his number through the early game, but a final shot comes out from that ADC. Maniac picks up another kill, 3-1 and 6. And you know what she says? I never miss. Now in the mid lane, picking up another headshot. And this Caitlyn's gonna be a real menace moving forward. I think if I had to proffer something to the side of Valhalla, I think both games 1 and 3, their blue side drafting, I think worked really, really well. We saw how well that draft functioned of its own accord. It was just some serious player mistakes that led it astray. I think their red side drafting does need some addressing though, because it's just not working. Whatever we're doing, it's not working. It didn't work in game 1, and it's not working in game 3, which appears to just be like a carbon copy of game 1. Production, this script already happened. This is a rerun.
That actually happened on the previous years, but at this point they're at a pretty hard choke point. And it's not a choke point, it's like a choke team. Like the whole team is just choking at this point, but at this class you can see what's happening in both side and Drake fight.
Yeah, the Drake fight comes through, and the Ord is finally with the team. Snipper doing great damage with that ultimate, and Yoshi gonna go ahead and eat up that ult from the Vex. The Vex does go in and get a flee, but it's not enough to kill Yoshi. Yoshi's still up, finally goes down. That ult connects on a Snipper. Will the Vex take it in? Doesn't have the opportunity. Lego Alien cleaning up some kills. And this is going to be a breath of life for Valhalla Berserkers. Going to go ahead and take control here at this dragon fight. Nothing more to be found. Picked up a couple of perfect kills, specifically onto that enemy jungler. When Burrow goes down, there's nothing more to fight for at the dragon. Zooboomafoo, cut their losses, break it off, and that gold lead, which we talked about being 2K at 11 minutes, a massive lead back then, is only 1K here at 19 minutes, and it's no longer a massive lead, and it's actually the biggest nullifier of that gold lead is Snipper. At one point, Zerobi was the highest gold player in the game, both in terms of total gold and in terms of gold over his opponent, and Snipper's brought it all back.
Snipper is coming back when it comes to gold lead, and also I want to just bring small replay on the previous team fight. He had the perfect engage from Yuchi. He knocked up 2 members, and then he got Caitlyn red-handed, and your whole team just stepped down, and he was afraid from morale. It doesn't make any sense. You're just leaving Caitlyn to survive overall. That was a pretty bad decision, and Valhalla, they need to capitalize the enemy's mistakes. They need to use it to their favor. When you see Yuchi actually committing and the full team is not even following up, it feels frustrating to having this kind of players at your team and you're not being able to use him at full power. At this point, you can see the Onhor and this Vayne
Going for
is gonna be
another
out.
gank, and I think Vex is not long for this world, but does prolong some fight with the ultimate. Here comes a knock-up from Burrow, and Renekton in as well. Uh-oh, all of a sudden this fight is turning Zooboomafoo, but Snipper teleports up. Renekton with the slice and dice to eat the play ultimate does a hell of a lot of good. But now it's gonna be evened out. I don't think Zooboomafoo can find much more. What looked like a really good play for Valhalla Berserkers turned into a great play for Zooboomafoo. They might not have to dive this turret because there is no turret. Can the fight come through? Gonna be dissuaded. A good fear, a good knock-up, and they're gonna. Hey, okay, hey Caitlyn. I'm gonna need you to take this eye test because you are not passing your driving exams. Where did Burrow go? Absolutely murdered by the Whirling Death, and now Yoshi's back for this fight. A good knockback from Janna. This fight is never ending. Good damage. Finally, the Caitlyn goes down. You talked about should they pick the Rell or the Caitlyn to find the correct target selection this time around. Now Renekton's all alone, does not have the dominance, can try and find a kill, but isn't gonna find it. And what turned into a wishy-washy crazy fight turns into a massive damage fest for the Draven, picking up almost 2k damage in that one fight. They're gonna try and to immediately turn it on to Otacon, but they have to be careful. Burrow the Steel Master, Burrow the Flip Master is back on the map. That Otacon still has a little bit of health, but those axes are flying fast.
Yeah, it's pretty far away, but at this point he can see the Otacon. 3 kills into the hands of Draven, which is gonna make him dead equal with Caitlyn. That's gonna be pretty important. Numbers 1-2 is gonna be pretty solid, getting the IE for the second item. And yeah, this IE Draven is gonna hurt a lot anyone whenever he crits. Caitlyn, I'm not pretty sure what he's doing when it comes to his position. Speaking of position, look what's happening in mid lane.
Yeah, Snipper caught out a little alone, but the cavalry is here for the reinforcements. A great pick from Lego Alien there. Now they're going to try and punish. They're rushing forward. They know that they have the numbers. The fear comes out, but it's not going to matter. They're taking as much space as they can on the map. Burrow's going to go ahead and stay burrowed underneath the map. I'm not going to stop saying that, Sekio. The guy named Burrow is playing Rek'Sai. Her ability is called Burrow.
And he's not playing with Cyborg.
No, we said it takes a very high level of execution to make Rek'Sai work. And while they aren't playing terribly, I think you could have gotten the value that they have gotten out of Rek'Sai on a more straightforward camp. I mean, imagine something like the Wukong right now, right?
And now look what's happening in bot side.
Yeah, the Whirling Death comes through. Vex Force Flash. Lego Alien goes for a double knock from Yoshi. This is such great play from this Ore, and he's being a problem. The Dominance popped just to try and escape, but Lego Alien is not going to let him go for free. And that's another kill, another cash-in for the Draven, who is suddenly far ahead in gold. But huge damage coming out from this Caitlyn. They're going to try and focus down the tower. The Blood Rush forward with the wave movement is so fast. Does not find the axes, does not find the knock up because of a good flash away from the Caitlyn, but that means there's no sums and they're not going to be able to pressure this dragon. I imagine this one goes through uncontested unless once more Burrow the Flip Master, Burrow the 50-50, Burrow the Smite Pike can come through. Can he find it? Does not find it. And Lego Alien gonna go ahead and take their second dragon of the game to Clouds. That's gonna make them real fast.
Lego Alien is actually the guy who's gonna shift everything around. Team Valhalla are just different. They look better, they look smoother, and it feels like they understand the assignment at this point of the game. They know how to play their composition. They need their own horn. They need Yoshi to be their main frontliner. They need to use him, and also you can see Lego Alien having a lot of advantage when it comes to having a lot of resets. And right now, I don't really like Janna's supports item. I know it made her surprise, but yeah, that's not what you get when you're playing Janna.
Yeah, Janna forced to expend the flash there as well. Going to be a very immobile champion without a lot of work. Baron Nashor now arriving on the map. And these two teams suddenly very even. It's almost the inverse of last game where we saw this huge, lead for the blue side. But on the blue side last time, it was Valhalla Berserkers and then a throw around to Otacon. It was in the bottom side last game, but it's in the top side this game. Lego Alien rushing forward, but I don't think we're going to see a fight here. Neither team wants to give up a free kill. Neither team wants to give up a free Baron.
If you can look at Zooboomafoo vision over the Baron, you will see that they have nothing over the river. Also, they just have the mid pushed in, and right now you can see they are trying to have some deep vision, clearing something in the top side. At the same time, you can see Draven bullying his axes. 2v3 situation. DL is pretty low and actually is gonna get knocked up, and the fight will be stolen for this point.
Yeah, Lego Alien comes back into the mid lane. A good whirling death to come through, finds a couple of members, but they're just not low enough for it to do any damage. Meanwhile, on the bot side, they're just playing a different game. Yoshi is playing the I'm gonna bully Renekton until he uses his dominance game, and first game life is going to be like, please don't kill me, please don't kill me, please don't kill me, not again.
Yeah, look at this.
That's a good knock up here and a good cancellation of the crash down. That means X Irony is going to take a lot of damage. Burrow going to try and get that damage down. Yoshi, the hero of the team, is here. Gets the double knock up again. Gets the double knock up again. A great engage there. Sacrifices his life, but that means 2 kills for the side of Valhalla Berserkers. Another one going into the Draven. And where he was 0-3 all game, he's now 5-3. X Irony just got blasted in the head. That sniper rifle doing so much damage, but I do believe that means it's going to be a Baron for the side of Valhalla Berserkers.
It's a still 3v3, and also this Baron is going to be mid-life right now. You can see that this jungle is going to be pretty low. The flash in and the damage is going to be here.
Yeah, he flashes in, tries to find the damage, but can't find it fast enough. Gets the kill onto himself, but then immediately traded back onto the Draven. And that means a bunch of spells gonna be expended, but nothing more. And honestly, if you're the side of Zooboomafoo, you'll take that. You traded your 1-8 top laner for the Draven, meaning you make him lose stacks on the passive, and you make him lose his purple cloak.
Yeah, at this point, Caitlyn is looking pretty scary. 3 items. She got the LDR plus Infinity Age and the Yunta blade, which means she's going to be having a lot of attack speed in team fights, a lot of damage. And trust me, when you see Janna, when you see X Irony getting 2 shots, gets the trap and gets the headshot and it's out. Vix, Snipper, you need to wash your glasses, and yeah, it would make a huge impact. But whatever, at this point of the game, 28 minutes, you have the Baron Nashor. You need to play for 1-4 in bot side, and only one player pushing mid, which is gonna help you attack 2 inner turrets, maybe try to get for 2 inhibitors. That's gonna be your call. But at this point, you're leaving mid wave. You're not giving her the buff, which is, yeah, that's your advantage. The mid wave buff, the bot lane buff.
They are not playing around the buffs, but they might be able to find the fight. A knock up there for Yoshi. Gets good damage down onto the Caitlyn. The Caitlyn already about a double knock up there, and a good one at that. Yell is going to be the first to fall. Can they find something back? No, it's going to be a second member that finally goes down. Burrow using the ultimate, but it's not going to be enough. Maniac on the run, forced to cancel the ultimate, and it's everything Valhalla could want and more, and they've got the Baron to continue the push in the midway, and they're going to get the tier 2. Can they find a kill onto the Vex? I think they're going to. Lego Alien does quite a bit of damage. That's an ace for Valhalla Berserkers.
This game, this series is not gonna be over, and game 4 is knocking your doors. Valhalla are not gonna lose without the fight. Game number 4 is about to start, and what a comeback. You thought that it's gonna be the end. The early game looked like Zooboomafoo are having the game of their life, and they're having the 3-0 series, but Valhalla makes it to game 4, and probably we might see game number 5.
Sekio, I think the script writers took it a little personally. I was like, okay, Zooboomafoo gets an early lead. One of the top laners is dying a bunch, but they take an early lead and they get a bunch of crazy kills, and they're just gonna snowball their lead, and it's gonna go, super crazy style, and Zooboomafoo's got this locked up. That's the same thing we saw in game 1. And then the scriptwriter said, nuh-uh, watch this. We're going to mix game 1 and game 2 and have a crazy throw at Otacon. And all of a sudden, right back in the game is the side of Valhalla Berserkers. And I think there's a lesson therein. North American teams, please take note. Stop throwing at Otacon. Stop trying to fight around it. You feel like they didn't even start the Otacon, but they all fought topside near the Otacon, and then you died, and it's a free Otacon. Don't give up huge team fights around this objective, because it is game warping.
Whew. That was from the heart. Like, after what we saw in the Worlds, it's not the same thing that we were expecting. But for now, we're gonna just take a small breath. We're just gonna get some water, stay hydrated, get some popcorn, get some snacks, because this series is just about to begin. Game number 4, we're gonna be back to you after a short break. Stay tuned.
Merc Academy lights up tonight. Emerald League, we're ready to fight. Semifinals on the line, pressure's in the air. 2 teams standing tall, champions everywhere. Zooboomafoo rises, pushing every lane. Valhalla Berserkers, bringing all the pain. Strategy and skill colliding on the screen. This is what we came for, living out the dream. Watch the map, watch the play. Who's gonna take it all the way? Towers falling, Nexus crawling. One mistake and you die. It's the firing rush, the moment's here. Everything we practiced all year. One team rises, one walks away. This is how we play, this is how we slay. Firing rush, the power is real. Turn the fight, change how it feels. Zooboomafoo, Berserkers move. Who's gonna steal the show? Rushing out, to the ground. Rushing out, this is our town. Back and forth, the bracket's burning hot. Every move matters, giving all we've got. Berserkers striking hard with that engage. Zooboomafoo dancing, turning up the rage. No surrenders here, we're fighting to the end. Semi-final glory, who's gonna ascend? Watch the map, watch the play. Who's gonna take it all the way? Got your chokers, do or die. One shot at the sky. It's the barren rush, the moment's here. Everything we practiced all year. One team rises, one walks away. This is how we play, this is how we slay. Barren rush, the power's real. Turn the fight, change how we feel. Zooboomafoo, Berserkers move. Who's gonna steal the show? Rushing out, take the crown. Rushing out, this our town. The buff is up, decision time. Who's gonna cross that line? 5 versus 5, the final test. Prove you're the best, better than the rest. Merc Academy stands and screams. We're all living for these teams. It's a barren rush, the moment's here. Everything we practiced all year. One team rises, one walks away. This is how we play, this is how we slay. Barren rush, the power is real. Turn the fight, change how we feel.
All right, well, we took a short break, okay? And I'm feeling better now, Sekio. I'm a little less. Why are we throwing? Oh, no, I'm back. I'm okay. It's all good. It's okay. We're fine.
Mm,
We're getting ready to go into
yeah.
game 4 here. Valhalla Berserkers brought it back after a treacherous first 2 games, and they've done the first step. They've gotten a win. And now we're wondering, can they get the mythical reverse sweep? They're starting off here on our blue side with a blind Gwen into the top side. And in response, Zooboomafoo have picked up the Sivir and another pick to come.
I like it. I like that they are going for an appropriate blind picks, such as Gwen, which is basically Gwen is one of those champions that you can just use her on side lanes in team fights. She's gonna have a role in your game no matter whatever happens to her. If she's 1 in 10, if she's like the next Yasuo but on steroids, that he can just like be invisible. Oh, that's like the wind wall. That's the first time I can see that. But on the other side, we're going the old-fashioned Pantheon is back and Sever. Like it's the first time me seeing Sever survive till game number 4. But I like the respawn with the Smolder. Like both of them are gonna be stacking. No, actually, Smolder is gonna be stacking. Sivir is gonna be scaling, and both are gonna be shining in the very late game.
Yeah, Sivir, the Smolder is the trade. And, you get to that mythical number 225. It doesn't necessarily matter how far behind you are. You can always win a game with some crazy late game Smolder shenanigans, but you have to be able to push it there. That's what I like about Zooboomafoo's draft already. Taking that Pantheon gives them an early damage threat, someone that can pop off very early on in the game, that can carry the game for them, to let that, carry come online later. If Valhalla doesn't find this bridge, right, someone that can take them into the late game, they're going to struggle a little bit because, a late game Smolder, a late game Gwen are awfully nice, but you got to be able to be within striking distance once that late game comes.
Mm-hmm. And that's pretty solid. And also, you're currently having a pretty decent Beeler for the Sever. You're having the Karma. Some people don't like Karma. Myself, I like Karma when it comes to being able to have the lane pushed. You're gonna be able to move faster, and also Karma is one of those champions that you feel that you're playing URF in the late game. Sometimes in the mid game, you never know. Whenever you land your skill, so it's just like a uh, Burma harassment and extra shield for the team. Like if you want to engage, if you want to disengage, it's gonna be helping you both ways.
Karma going again, going to be another one of those pretty solid early game picks. You know how solid karma damage can be in the lane. And so that pairs well with the Sivir in the sense that that's an early game kind of very easy to execute support that'll be able to outpoke, be able to get some good CC, and then come late game still provide big value with the mantra shielding across all 5 members of the team. Now the band's finally getting focused on the mid lane this time, seeing how much impact both of those players have had. That means a lot of interesting bands, the Akali band out and the Orianna band out.
I'm trying to think about like what's left on the mid lane pool. We saw Anivia, Syndra's out, Oriana's out. So beside like the previous games, so I'm not sure what mages do we still have, but I believe that we're gonna have a handshake. It's either with a mage and an assassin, or like few mages. Talia actually is still open. Talia is a pretty good option here. You're gonna have Talia Sever's book plus Karma's book. That's just like you're gonna be playing book composition by book. That's weird. It's gonna be perfect if you just go Talia. Can you see Talia?
Yeah, Talia also finding some just utility value there. The Gwen having a dash,
Exactly.
Smolder, his flap counts as a dash. Skarner does in fact pass over terrain, and so they could get some big stuns. But
That's
they're
not the
opting for
Centuryman guy.
It is a streaming champion, but it's a different one. And Blind Nasus is certainly one of the choice, or not Blind Nasus. They do have the Gwen showing, but just Nasus into Gwen it's one of the choices of all time. I'll say.
I mean, Nasus still got like his passive. Okay, like Nasus is one of those old champions that his passive is just yeah life steal. You know, it's not some fancy stuff. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
it is. It
you
is
have
for context. Yes, he's. It is just passive. Nasus gains blank amount lifesteal. That's it. That's the whole. It's the whole
and
word.
it scales well when we get to level 18 you get 20% life steal. Yeah, that's this is passive. I love it. It's so simple. You have nothing to be just like, oh, there is no algorithm in your head. You're trying to figure out X, Y, Z and what's the equation that you're gonna be working on. And at this point of the game, I still see Talia. Come on.
We see the
He's
rise
decent.
come out, and the response to the rise is the Vhagar. Now we're
Yeah.
picking Vhagar red 5, but I think both of us have just been begging for it. That's another champ in the Rakan that just gets mogged by Unraveled Earth. You could potentially stun 4 members of Valhalla Berserkers by just pressing E one time. And we go for the Vhagar, which not going to say it's without its merits, right? The baby cage controls a lot of space. You know, the event horizon going to prevent a lot of that ability of those engagers to do their jobs as long as it's well positioned. But it is a long cooldown, and you know, again, we're opting for another late game option. But they do already have their kind of early game bridge set up. Whereas on the flip side, who is the carry in the early game? Who keeps Valhalla from falling too far behind?
Oh, that's a pretty good question, and my answer is I have no clue. It's gonna be only Skarner, the only guy who can do something in early game, which is yeah, playing around Rise and Gwen. And for Zooboomafoo, like I have a lot of questions. Like if you just like ignored Nessus and you got Rise or Talia, because Rise synergizes pretty well with Pantheon. It's like one of those combo that you never get bored of. Pantheon Sandra, Pantheon Talia, Pantheon, and yeah, I missed like the Talia, Sandra, and Rise. Yeah, Talia, Sandra, and Rise. It's either one of those three. Like you can't get out of those. So you get Pantheon, and you're not picking any one of them. The first one got banned. The second one, you left it to the other team, and yeah, you're not going for Talia. I'm going for Veigar. And what's the value over Veigar and Pantheon? I believe they got something, but
The logic,
not.
I think, would be like if you trap them in the middle of the event horizon, they can't run away from the Pantheon. And the Pantheon just walks up into the event horizon, shield vaults on their face, and then just kind of eats their lunch.
But he's gonna be playing the 10k mana Veigar, which is gonna be pretty useless. Yeah.
We'll have to see. You know, I've seen some questionable Vhagar picks this week already. Sekio, I cast a series last night where I saw a Vhagar top lane.
Oh, that reminded me of Noor. Noor is a challenger EOS player who's just like OTB, Cassiopeia, Jax, and some third champion that got nothing to do with top lane. And yeah, those guys exist, and they're just like they were one step away from entering the psychopathic hospital. Like when you have some illness, you need to get cured of. Yeah, like those top laners, they need to get back on track and maybe touch some grass. Yeah.
Oh, I was trying to hold in that laughter, but Oh my goodness, you cracked me all the way up there. That was really good. You know what? The point I was gonna make is that that Vagar I saw yesterday did really good. So maybe questionable Vagar picks is the way we win games, right? Listen, I bring a certain copium energy to the party that realists don't really like, but I'm here for vibes and good times. And so far, I gotta say, this series has delivered pretty good.
We had a lot of content to deliver through the entire series.
Exactly.
From game 1, game 2 flaming everybody, game 3 don't know what the heck is happening, and game 4
2 ended with you flaming everybody. Game 3 ended with me flaming everybody. Game 4 is gonna end with the players flaming us, I think.
We started game 4 with flaming the guy who drafts for them, so yeah, like we didn't flame last or Merc, so those guys felt off the hook.
Architect, shout out to our producer, Last Raven. There's some flame that can be had, but we're not gonna hash it out that hard, right? No, we're gonna let bygones be bygones, and we're gonna listen. Valhalla did win the last game. I will give that to them, but I still didn't like the draft, and I still have questions about this draft, but we have been proven wrong before. Lego Alien might be super crazy style on that Skarner. The only thing we can do is wait and see. So we're going to cast it to a short break. And when we come back, we will be on the Rift for game 4.
Peace out. Okay.
Oh, broken dreamer is your mind. Oh, all the scars, let's leave them behind. We light the world up now, let us fire in your eyes. Through the darkness into the night. Oh, broken dreamer is your mind. Oh, all the scars, let's leave them behind. We light the world up now, let us fire in your eyes. Through the darkness into the night. Put your fucking hands up.
immediately into the action this time because we had a bit of a delay. I believe the game was remade, but we are finally back here on the Rift for Game 4, and it's a rough start for Fields Game Life here on this Nasus into the Gwen. Keep in mind, he knew what the Gwen was, and he picked the Nasus anyways.
A lot of questions when it comes to Nasus playing Gwen, and like this matchup is not something we see every day. But you know that Nasus can just like try to survive. Oh, he can't. Exactly. He can just like try to survive. Like the secret into playing Nasus, he don't trade early game. No matter what happens, you just play over your Doran's shield and your health potion, and yeah, you just try to maintain your sustainability till you hit like 50-60 stacks, and after that you're gonna be able to play the game. But other than this, you're just gonna have a trouble in topside, and you're playing versus Yuchi, one of those players who always show up.
Yeah, gonna have to be really careful. Meanwhile, on this bottom side where we've got the focus right now, you can see that the Smolder is going to kind of struggle individually into the Sivir Karma, but the Rakan doing a bit of work making up for that fact. Being able to dash in, get some good CC down as well. And both junglers just kind of clearing through. You can see the Pantheon opting to take a little bit of an exploratory trip into the opposing jungle, finds nothing, and we are dead even on gold in an actionless game so far.
I really want to shout out to Last Revenant, because basically if you look at the layout, you can see how many stacks does Veigar got, how many stacks that Nasus got, and also the Smolder at the same time. So that's gonna make us keep on tracking and seeing what's happening in either mid, top, or bot, which is gonna make you actually reach to the point, yeah, that's the breaking point when you know Nasus is gonna be online, when you know that Veigar is gonna make tons of damage, and when the Smolder is just gonna call her mom and shut your whole team down. And yeah, Nasus can't even move. I'm sorry.
Big breakpoints for that Smolder. I mean, obviously, the biggest one being the 225 stacks of Dragon Practice, but there are a couple of earlier breakpoints. You can you get a bonus, I believe, to your Super Scorcher Breath, which levels up at both 25 stacks. It then explodes at 125 stacks. It then hits an arc around enemies behind it, and then again at 225 stacks is the big breakpoint for the execute. And as well, your W and your flap both get bonus magic damage equal to a certain percent of your stack, so a lot of value there. Now Yoshi is coming in under the tower. Can he find the kill? The Nasus is just barely gonna leg it out. Yoshi expending the ultimate and the ghost in that top side, still unable to find the first kill of the game. But now it's just proxy farming this wave between these two turrets, and you know, First Game's Life is just going to have to go ahead and back. Not able to find any value with the Nasus pick so far. Hit that breakpoint, but it's still kind of being bullied in the top side.
And at this point, Yoshi is just gonna take this fairy coal, this shittery coal, and he's gonna get some more AP items. I believe that actually with those two, he can go for anything, but in bot lane, you can see the 2v2.
2v2, some intense trading going back and forth, but no real threat yet, at least at the moment. Meanwhile, Burrow is going to be first up to the dragon here. The Scorpion in the top side, the big Ishtal protector, not going to find anything to do in the meantime. Just going to let this dragon go over to Burrow, unable to contest. You know, Pantheon's just a little bit too strong early game, and his team doesn't have that, you know, big frontline, big upfront damage. Not at least quite yet.
And they are just struggling in top side. Nasus, even with the ultimate, won't be enough. Even when, you know, when he procs the ultimate, he gets 50% cooldown off each his skills, or probably the Q, which is gonna be helping him a lot into trading. Pantheon is just trying to survive, but the damage from Rise is
Snipper
gonna be
get him,
unbreakable.
does the flash, throws forward the Q, finds the first blood, and immediately another kill followed up on in the top side. Does give his life, gave up his flash for that kill. But honestly, with how far behind that sets Pantheon on the tempo, I think you're willing to make that trade as Snipper, especially when your teleport is up fairly soon.
Your TP is up, but you're losing a lot of CS in mid lane. So I don't know, after all, it's gonna be a 1-for-1, and you're wasting on yourself a lot of XP. So to be honest, I won't take this trade, but I won't push the turret as Baker.
Veigar tries to run forward, not going to be able to save himself with the baby cage, nothing doing, gets ulted back. The Impale doesn't really find any value other than keeping Veigar stranded. It is Snipper trying to step forward, but there is Burrow to protect the teammate, but now everyone's here. Yoshi coming forward. We've got another teleport coming in. It's first game life coming in, but he's coming into hostile territory. Immediately snip, snip, snip. No more. Nasus. Finally, Veigar falls. Feels like a whole minute later. That's the feat of warfare claim, and a messy engagement here in the mid lane, and a couple of bad decisions made by a couple of different people.
They're just cooking right now. You feel that's getting closer and closer. Team Valhalla, they have the better draft. They're executing their draft by miles better than Zooboomafoo. And yeah, even though that the goal difference is not that high, but the strength, the team, you feel that they got the like, I don't know how to say it, but like they can feel it. They can feel that they
The
can
momentum.
bring the W. Yeah, the momentum is here, and they are fighting for it with their own lives. They're not gonna leave it.
Yeah, nothing to leave on the table. Their backs are against the wall. All Zooboomafoo has to do is take this one game, and they're gonna start with a pit there. 2 ultimates expended. Both the Comet Spear coming through, or the Grand Starfall rather, and the massive Primordial Burst there from the Veigar, doing a bunch of damage, finding a second kill onto this Rise, and now being set pretty firmly behind because this Veigar is going to get another wave shoved into that tower.
That wasn't me. I didn't curse them. I said nothing, and yeah, they're still in a pretty decent spot. Like, they lost approximately 1.2k, but yeah, it's their fault, not mine.
Sekio, for legal reasons, caster curses aren't real. The U.S. government, all right, does not recognize curses as legal argument, so they can't hold that against us in a court of law. It's not gonna hold up. It's not our fault.
Yeah, that's in a court of law. Well, in the court of League of Legends, we all know what happens when
we all know that maybe it was our fault a little bit.
Yeah, it's just small. And right now they are overextending for a plate in bot lane.
Uh-oh, here comes that Pantheon we talked about, playing as a bridge in the early game. That's what late game comps need. They need someone to kind of babysit them or handhold in the early game. Is the Pantheon doing plenty of damage. Mom came over the top, but no damage to find. And this early game is going to even itself right back out, and it's suddenly getting worse. The Impale finds good damage. Here comes the Realm Warp. The Rise is in there now, doing good damage. Event Horizon going to find a good stun. Now Snipper is in a terrible position. Finally gets Primordial Bursted out. Burrow able to barely escape. And this commit looks really, really bad. It went from 3 to 2 to 3 to 3. Now 3 to 6. And it's all Zooboomafoo.
And it's all history. Valhalla are no more in the driver's seat. They are no more riding the game. You can see game 5 from far behind. I can see that Zooboomafoo are shifting the momentum. You can see 90 stacks in the hands of Veigar, and that means this guy is sitting on 200 plus AP, which is going to be pretty impressive. Speaking of the level, the champion, and everything that he got, I think he's around 275, which is gonna be pretty rough to play against 2-1-2 when it comes to the score. it's positive. When it comes to the blades, he's doing fine. When it comes to Drakes, I believe that Zooboomafoo are going for Drake number 2, which is going to be the Chemtech Drake, which is going to give them extra tenacity for the whole squad.
Yeah, the Chemtech Drake coming through, like you said, the tenacity, but also that heal and shield power is nothing to scoff at. They've got a barrier online. They've got Mr. Lifesteal Nasus himself up in the top side, and very critically, they have the Karma, and that little bit of extra heal and shield power can be very, very impactful when you're stacking up so much of it. Your shields are just going to be that much stronger, that much harder to deal with.
Yeah, and also at this point, I believe that they should be trying to go for some extensive plays in mid lane. You can see the damage, the poke from this Veigar is going to be important, and I believe they should just keep invading both sides. They should keep playing around their win potential, and the guys that they're super fit. You have Sivir, you have Veigar, play on them.
Are already ahead, and we talked about these are the scaling champs, right? These are the people that are supposed to wait till late to come online, but they're already 2 kills apiece. You know, you talked about the amount of stacks for the Veigar, over 100 now, and so yeah, do play around them, because if they get ahead at this stage of the game, imagine how gross they will be in 10 to 15 minutes. Going to be very, very tough to play around. Obviously, like I said, for Valhalla, as long as you can keep the game, you know, within spitting distance, that Smolder can do a heck of a lot with just the spit, just that Q.
Yeah, and I have like a pretty, like, I don't really like Kiana's, not Kiana, I'm sorry, Gwen's items, because you need to have some extra damage. You need the Rift Maker. It's gonna be more important when it comes to playing versus those players. When it comes to this game, or like any game, I don't think like attack speed matters. Yeah, we understand this. Like, that's not the main thing that you should be looking for.
The attack speed does at least help them stack up those passive stacks and get the Q ready to go for, you know, big amounts of true damage, especially right in the center there. A good stun, immediately followed up by that impale, but a huge shield coming out for Burrow. Burrow's not going to even really be bothered by the positioning. Does finally have to flash with the needlework coming through. Yoshi's trying to chase, and he's playing a bit of hero ball here, because this is bad positioning. You're outnumbered. This is awful territory. And all of a sudden, Yoshi might be regretting some decision making. A good knockup. Mom comes over the top, but Yoshi is the first to fall. It's Maniac who's getting good damage. This is what the silver is built for. Everyone's grouped up in one spot. Maniac has so much health. Even if Burrow falls, he's just going to pick up another one. Zerobi gets in on the action, and this is going to go the way of Zooboomafoo, and Val's going to go to the way of the Dodo. The Berserkers are berserking no more, defeated on the battlefield.
They got 5-1, and that's Zooboomafoo and the previous team fight. They got everything that they needed. Nasus with a pretty huge flank, and once he felt Yuchi got the barefoot, he's going forward, he's trying to go for the backline. Yeah, no more ghost, no more movement speed, and you got nothing, and you're at the mouth of the line. And yeah, he just got eaten in your enemy's jungle. Your mid lane turret is out, and you have nothing to be defending in mid lane right now. You need to just start going for the cross map plays. You need to play on both sides. You have to ignore the Rift Herald, because like Rift Herald is not one of those critical objectives that you should be playing around.
Yeah, what really like kind of grinds my gears is it was just a very unnecessary play. It felt like okay, once we made the commit onto Burrow, and it didn't work out, right? He got out. He has, you know, a bunch of healing from the Sundered Sky. You know, extra tenacity helps him get away. Shucks, we made a play and it didn't work. But then we chased him down and we got his flash. Like, okay, we forced a little further than maybe we needed to, but we got a flash out of it. Now we break off the play, right? Oh, okay, Yoshi, you're still committed. Oh no, you're in the enemy red buff pit, and it was just like we are just way overcommitting with no vision. It's not like that side of the map was lit up for them or anything. Veigar just doing a good job keeping Snipper sealed off there, and that's what gets me. Is I think that was just a hard overcommit that wasn't necessary at all. We already got value out of our play. We got the flash out of the enemy jungle.
To be honest, like, I don't want to be that guy, but if he had Riftmaker, this fight would have been a lot different.
Perhaps.
Maybe, but at this point I really like that Ryze is going for the cross-map play. He's just taking T1 at both sides, and I will take this trade any day of the year. You take T1 in a trade of a Rift Herald, you have to push mid lane. Also, you don't be showing at the top side like that's not where you should be.
But they're actually, it's fine for Yoshi to be showing here because like they got the tower and they're not actually giving up the Rift Herald. They're gonna take it and give up the dragon. It's going to be a Cloud Soul once again, but that does mean it's the third dragon for Zooboomafoo, putting themselves already on Soul Point. We're only 18 minutes into the game.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty critical at this point. They're trying to take tier 2 at the top side. I think that T1 in mid lane is pretty important at this point. I don't think that Nasus got something to do. The Impale will land.
The Impale does land, and that drags Nasus back. No tower to speak of because of the Rift Herald. That's another kill going into the pockets of, I believe it was the Skarner that picked that one up. They get some damage onto that tower, but not enough to crack it open. But it is enough to draw a response. And now it's Sniffer caught out of position, stun over the top, and he walks into the event horizon. Not something you want to see. Good damage coming through, and there it is, Primordial Burst, and no more Rise.
And goodbye, this Rise is gonna go back into collecting runes. You're not gonna be having this good life at side lane, because let's be real, your whole team is playing around top side. You have no business to conduct them, but you should not be here. You're just like throwing your life into crisis and asking, yeah, why my team is not here? Why they're not helping me?
I think the vision is like really critical. Look at the difference in vision score across the teams. Specifically, look at the vision score for the ADC of all people from Zooboomafoo. 31 vision score as an AD carry is kind of turbo criminal. That either support is in the same ballpark as an ADC is actually kind of wild. But look at the flip side. The AD carry, the mid lane, for Valhalla Berserkers, they just don't have that same value. The map is constantly staying dark for them. They have all these deep wards, you know, and they have nothing to do with them. So finally they get some shallow wards in their own jungle. I think especially when you are missing these outer towers, you just have to be able to confidently walk into your own jungle, confidently be able to side lane. Yoshi is very confident, all things considered. And he might be able to find the one kill, but doesn't ultimately get it. Healing up quite a lot. Can he find anything? No, he does quite a lot of damage, but he's able to find any kill.
Atakan? Guys, Atakan on both sides?
No, they can't take Atakan. Even if they started that while there was a 2v1 going on, I don't think they would have taken it fast enough because Gwen is all of their damage. What the heck does Smolder do against Atakan?
Yeah, you have a pretty solid point. You have a pretty solid point. But what I don't really like, you had Yuchi pushing tier 3 and your whole team didn't even try to respond to mid wave. They didn't try to push it. They didn't try to get mid T1, which is pretty crucial. When you ever take mid T1, you have the advantage into entering your enemy jungle without them having any information unless they got a vision. And like mid turret, T1 is one of those things you should be fighting way so hard for it, and this time your mom is not gonna help you, but your flash is gonna make you survive. And Impale!
Overstep, Impale, blind in the bush immediately into the stun, uses the event horizon, a huge shield coming through. You can see that tanky Veigar build doing a lot of, or not tanky Veigar build, he's doing the full burst Veigar build, and that's why he picked up the kill on the Zeroni. It was all of the shield came directly from the Karma. I thought shield was too big, there's no way it came from Karma, but it is, and now a double kill traded back for Yoshi, who is doing good damage, finally has that Rift Maker online, the fabled second item Gwen, but now it's coming back the other direction once again. Maniac Trojan Boy, a name I've said quite a few times tonight. He's 6-0-6, and he finds a kill in that fight.
At 2 for 2, when it comes to this team fight, he needs to get this huge down from Veigar. Maybe if he got it into Rise, Gwyn, those are the champions that you need them on it. And a number 1 too just got an IE, so keep an eye on this guy. He got 162 stacks, which means he's pretty close to having the third breaking barrier. He's gonna be having a pretty important damage dealing, and whenever he hit the 225, as you have mentioned before, he's gonna be able to be unleashed in team fights. I believe that he doesn't need LDR in this game, he needs extra range and something that can make him sustain for more time.
Yeah, that's not a bad call out, getting that extra sustain, because there is, you know, a couple of mobile members. Even Rise is a pretty mobile champion when he gets that phase rush going. That's quite a lot of speed, and so being able to stay alive in the face of all that is pretty big. I want to say, I genuinely thought I saw that giant shield. It was like half of Veigar's health bar, and I was like, oh, he's got the he's rocking the full mana build into the you know, into the Archangel staff. Into the Seraph's Embrace, the Seraph's Embrace shield. No, bro, he's full burst. And that full burst might be why he dies. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Yoshi under that top tower. No survivability for the Veigar, but that means he did enough damage to kill Yoshi because he is full burst build. And now
50-50?
Steel Mom comes over the top, but Burrow is able to spear the dragon. A 3-man impale! A 3-man knockup! Can we find the fight? It's so much CC, but it's so much damage coming back the other way. We had a great impale into a great grand entrance, and we had an okay amount of damage dealt, really.
If you just add up Yuchi to this composition, no freaking way. You know that it's gonna be over, but Rise is gonna be stepping here 161 when it comes to the score. The Atakan is gonna be out pretty soon enough. 1k on HP, but the mid lane, guys, if you're not gonna be able to contest the fight, just take the mid lane tier 1 turret. Thank you, Smolder. Thank you, 1-2.
I gotta say, I feel like I had a bit of a problem with this last game, where we talked about throwing around the Otacon. It's all right. I'm gonna lower the blood pressure a little bit, but I want to be like 100% serious for a moment. I just don't think the correct decision was to go into that pit for the flip. I understand that it is the sole point, but you already given up the positioning. Or not even the sole point. It was the soul, right? And so, but you've already given up the positioning. And so, yes, we don't want them to get that dragon. They are going to get a Cloud Soul. It is one of the best souls in the game. Like, just by win rate, that thing is so dang good.
True.
But
here's the thing.
Once you were out of position, like, you just gave up the Otacon as well.
Yeah, they think that they have 50-50 chance when it comes to playing versus Pantheon, but like, let me break it down to you guys. Pantheon got 900 HP critical damage from his Q plus the smite, so yeah, you can't 50-50 versus it.
Very tough to do. They don't get it, and then they get punished, losing both their jungler and their support, giving over a free Otacon. And so now, just anywhere that Zooboomafoo wants to go on the Rift, they are picking up everything they want. It looked like it was going... We've had, you know, the first game was this team gets an early lead, and then they snowball that lead, and then they win. And then the second game, we were like, okay, then Valhalla does it right back, but then they threw, and we were like, oh, okay, that's really roller coaster game. But then the third game, we were like, okay, Zooboomafoo's gonna get an early lead, and they're gonna win, because they already did that. And then, nope, that's not what happened. All of a sudden, a throw from Zooboomafoo, and we just had, do early leads not matter anymore? What's going on, Sekio?
It feels like it's more of a macro play. At this point, they're going for the Nasher, not the Nasher Tooth, I'm sorry, for the
Baron Nasher.
Yeah, the Baron Nasher, I'm sorry, like, I'm just...
Not just the tooth, the whole guy.
it's 8 AM for me, so I'm starting to lose it, but yeah, this guy is dead.
Oh, he gets the impale off, but it's not going to last for long, and all of a sudden, here comes Grand Starfall, the event horizon. That means there's no value to be found in the swiftness, just trapped in the cage. And here we go, can Burrow fall? A huge shield, so much healing. He will not fall. He will in fact find a triple kill. He's still moving forward. His team looking for another one, and Zooboomafoo's not going to throw a quadra kill for the ace. And that's going to be Baron Nashor over to Zooboomafoo, easy as you like. The apes are running away with this one.
The server position through this team fight is just something you gotta just watch it again and again and again. The position, the movement, the ultimate that she used was just perfectly. Yeah, you can get closer to Veigar, you can get closer to Pantheon, but yeah, this AD carry server is nowhere to be found, and I believe like she had most damage dealt after Veigar. Like, we don't count Veigar damage because that's illegal, but after Veigar it was Sever, and oh boy, the bouncing blades are just doing major damage.
Now, here's the thing. It is time for a patented stacks check. And we're going to go through it. We see a very nice amount of stacks there on the Nasus. It looks like he's, rocking 390 stacks. That's pretty good. We see 287 stacks on the Veigar. That's a lot of AP, especially with the funny little hat he's got there. It does funny little things like multiply your AP by 30%. And then we check one more stacks, and there is the Smolder. He is at 220 stacks. So even though the game looks so bad for Valhalla, they still have a chance, because in 5 more stacks, Smolder is going to start getting an execute on that Q, and I have seen that ability single-handedly turn games around.
It's on. He got it. This execute from the Smolder, and this point, even you have the Atakan, you have the Soul, you have everything. Yuchi is just like your key player, your stone player, and he is going for 1v1 versus Nasus.
Can Yoshi find it? There is some skirmishing going on at the bottom of the map,
he's dead.
And Yoshi is losing this, and losing it badly. That one little bramble that's just cutting all of the healing from the Gwen, and Nasus in the ult is able to just go crazy style. Here comes Mom.
Smolder?
Some good Qs coming in. We can see the Smolder execute bars are online. Can he find it? Does get the execute, finally loses his support in the meantime. Gonna lose an inhibitor as well. Are they gonna lose more? Yeah, it looks like they're setting up to take this second inhib tower.
They got at least 1k gold advantage into Smolder, and right now I believe it's gonna be easier for them to contest this team fight, and Impale might be coming now.
They finally find some Ishtal's impact, but there goes Burrow trying to get onto that Smolder, but that's an execute. Therefore, here comes Mom. The Elder Dragon says to sit down. The Dragon has practiced, and my goodness, that Q from the Veigar. Just one simple little skill shot. He said,
He didn't even
Veigar
try
step
to
forward.
press the outplay bottom. He didn't use his ultimate.
Yeah, he didn't even use the ultimate. He just said, Baleful Strike. Just one little Baleful Strike.
Okay.
How much damage could it possibly do? Yeah, here's your whole health bar. It's gone. Trade offer, Sekio. I receive your whole health bar. You receive nothing.
Fair trade.
You make that
That's
deal,
what
I make that
happened.
deal.
Yeah, that's it. And right now you're trying to get Veigar, but the movement speed coming out from the Mantra E from DL is gonna be pretty gigantic. The blue is gonna be serving the whole Zooboomafoo squad, and this Elder Drake is gonna be the breaking point. It's do or die. You have the cage at the perfect position, and Bale will get the Veigar!
Impale gets the Veigar, Mom comes over the top, Veigar's falling low. Can they get the kill onto that Sivir? They don't find it, and now number 1-2 might fall to Burrow, and that's the last chance, the last dance, and it's all over. I don't think that Zooboomafoo is even gonna worry about the Elder Drake. 32 minutes into the game, they're going for the end of this series, and they're gonna find it.
Zooboomafoo, for the 3rd time in this league, they're gonna be able to win versus Valhalla. This time is not gonna be clean. 3-1 is gonna be the score. They're moving forward to a grand final, and Zooboomafoo made their point, and they are the unstoppable team of this league.
Yeah, they are. They're first seed for a reason, right? They looked fantastic coming into playoffs. We had that bye week, and Valhalla looked so good during week 1. They absolutely 3-0'd WL Snapdragon. And so it's just a big wonder. What is Valhalla Berserkers going to do against that first seed? And Zooboomafoo, even though they dropped the game, even though things got messy, the hallmark of a winner is that even when the going gets tough, you find a way to win, and they found a way to win today, and it was pretty dang impressive.
It was pretty damn impressive watching those players compete against each other. We should give like a shout out to the team that lost. Like, they did their best, like they tried to improve, and they showed their improvement through the entire season. And at this point, I believe I'm not sure that we're gonna see them
Their
play
playoff lives
again.
aren't over, Sekio. They still get to go. They get to play 89th Maw against in the loser semis coming up next week. I believe it is November 5th. So there is still an answer for them to go forward.
They're still got this slot in lower bracket, but yeah, as we have just like as I've just like mentioned, they just like need to check for their mistakes. They do actually perform a pretty well standard early game, but they need to transition it into winning series. Good job. And we're just gonna be waiting for you into the next week. And with that being said, I really want to thank you for this series. Thank you for it's our first time casting together,
Yeah,
and
it was wonderful.
I had a lot of fun.
I had quite a good
loved
time.
it. I loved it.
Shout out to our producer, Last Revent, Last Ravent. I pronounce it wrong every time because I am an idiot. Fun fact. So we go that gold graph. That's not an LPL gold graph. That's just a little sad. And as we're getting here to wrap up this series overall, just want to comment, like you said, this is a great time. I have quite a bit of fun casting Merc Academy every time I get to do so, but all the fun's over. It's time for us to finally wrap up, look at each other, and say goodbye. I hope everyone in the chat, everyone watching at home, had just as much fun as we did casting this series, because man, there was quite a bit of silliness, quite a bit of fun going throughout, and I think that's all you can ask for, right? League of Legends as an entertainment product, and it's a dang beautiful thing. I was entertained. Believe my friend here, Sekio, was entertained. That's all we've got. It is very late. Well, for me, it's very late. It is very early for Sekio, so we're gonna not yap any longer. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next week for the Emerald Losers Finals. Have a great night, everybody.
Merc Academy, Emerald Division. This is war.
Semifinals locked and loaded. Two tribes ready for the fight. Zooboomafoo rises up Valhalla, bringing fear in the night. Controllers grip like weapons. Screen glows on every face. One match to rule the bracket. Only winners leave this place. Push the lane, break the tower, take control. This is the hour. Baron calls. Who answers first? Blood and skill. Who breaks who wars? Zooboomafoo rises, Valhalla Berserkers. Clash of Titans on the rift. Every movement, every shoot. Zooboomafoo rises, Valhalla Berserkers. One will fall, one ascends. This is how the chapter ends. Berserkers push aggressive, pressure building tension thick, but Zoo adapts with decision every play. Valhalla makes their stand here, but nothing good can last. Push the lane, break the tower, take control. This is the hour. Baron secured, momentum shifts. Zooboomafoo brings the gift. Zooboomafoo rises, Valhalla Berserkers. Clash of titans on the rift. Every movement, every shift. Zooboomafoo rises, Valhalla Berserkers. One will fall, one ascends. This is how the chapter ends. Zoom. Zoom, zoom. Fight, 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 fight. Final push through land. Nexus turrets falling. Valhalla gave their all, but Zooboomafoo's calling. Victory screen erupts. The crowd goes insane. Emeralds and Methanol's done. One team remains. Zooboomafoo victory, they took the crown tonight. Valhalla fought with honor, but Zoo brought the light. Zooboomafoo champions rising to the top. Merc and Cannon, remember when the Berserkers drop.